Welcome, guys, to We Don't Know Ball. With a special guest this week, not replacing Retro because he's the third co-host. We have Kieran from, if you guys know, from TikTok and or YouTube, Sleeper Kieran, also known as Hammer Dog Mondays. He's also guest on Flags on the Play. Been following them for a little bit. Kieran, how are you doing today, man?
I'm doing great. Sunday was a wild night for me because I'm a Steelers fan, but yeah, I'm glad to be here. Ready to talk some ball with non-ball knowers. So
I hope you got a raincoat near you because Retro is just ready to glaze your Monday series. I mean, we already got a taste of that at 4 a.m. this morning. Retro glazing another guy. So crazy enough, that's just how his 4 a.m.s look now that he's a college kid. But
yeah.
But again, we don't know ball. I'm Jules Compton. This is Retro. This is Justin. How are you guys doing for today's slate for football?
I'm doing great. I'm so excited that the Steelers have decided to give Mike Tomlin a lifelong contract. So happy for him. Happy to have Kieran on. Thank you for coming on. We really appreciate it. Yeah, man. The Panthers are going to win the Super Bowl, and I can never be replaced because I am the greatest.
Christ.
Okay, so I just want to be clear. I'm doing okay. The looming 0-7 is making my heart hurt a lot. But Retro, I just want you to know, and I did the research on it. Episodes where you have been replaced are actually our highest viewed episodes, so I just don't want you to feel too bad about it. It's not you, it's us apparently. So
hey, listen, some people can't handle the heat. You know what I'm saying?
But no, Kieran, we really do appreciate you, and I want you to know this is not us using you to grow the platform, but it would be nice to get more notoriety out of it, because I mean, we don't care to ever we really don't care to ever monetize this podcast. It would be cool if we could, but we're just three idiots that like talking sports together and have somewhat like-minded takes. I mean, the two of us do, maybe not that guy over there, but yeah, so yeah, I mean, I'm ready to jump into this. Yeah, week 18 was, well, they always say it's like there were two games that were the winner go home, and week 18 carries so much weight, and this, that, and the other. Boy, there was a lot of dog shit on television, and I mean a lot of it for football. We can start with what I just believe to be just the most weird, awkward fuckery of the weekend, and it was the Lions-Bears game. Detroit, I'd like to address something to you. You guys, before the season, were probably the NFC favorites to go back to the Super Bowl. I really would like to know why, when it matters the least, is when you guys decide to show up and have a generational game. Jared Goff, your game management is less than impressive, to say the least, and try to be nice about it. Sonic and Knuckles, I don't know what happened. The fact that you guys show up every other week, but then take 4 weeks off, but in a game that doesn't matter, at least Jahmyr Gibbs decides to show up. Jared Goff finally decides to target his arguable top 4, top 5 receiver going into the start of the year, and he has a great game. It could just be that the Bears just really played like shit, and that really is what it could be. Their run game that we've all talked about so highly for the past couple weeks, their duels, they show up and they just do nothing. This is quite concerning to me as a Bears supporter, not a Bears fan, mainly just because I really hate the Packers. But it would be so lovely if the Bears would just stick it to Green Bay this week and be the final I own you of the season to actually rep the Kings of the North, because if you lose this opening playoff game, this feels like a Week 19 game to me, not a playoff game. If you lose this, you basically lose the division, in my opinion.
I think that's a fair point. With Chicago, just to go through that really quickly, you don't score for 3 quarters, and what we've been talking about through the whole season is that either Caleb has really good 3.5 quarters and then doesn't show up in the fourth, or he doesn't show for the 3.5 quarters and then he does show up in the fourth. And the looming playoffs of where this team, where Justin, you've talked about a lot, is that we can put some like weight into Chicago for the future, but
Yep.
your first playoff performance needs to be at least putting everything together, not basically three quarters and less than one quarter and that kind of stuff like exemplified. But if you're scoring 16 points in the fourth, that's really good. But then losing at the last second with the field goal, that's a different story. But like what Caleb needs to do going into the playoffs, if he's going to be seeing the Packers, is that he needs to like start humming, and Ben Johnson needs to go and do something off rip. He needs to set the tone so that Chicago is a looming threat in the playoffs and they can make a deep playoff run. And if you're looking like this, I guess even though they're above 500, we all understandably know like Detroit has been in their woes with both offensive and defensive ways this season. This is not a good point to go in the playoffs. I don't really care that they lost. It's more about the performance for me, and the performance I think is alarming. Like, okay, you're good in the fourth, but how are you going to do against a Packers defense who's obviously injured into the first half? So to me, that's a big question mark.
Well, the thing that really scares me before he goes is I don't want Ben Johnson to go into this playoff game and completely change what he's done this year, because if he goes in and changes and tries to overwhelm with trickery and this, that, and the other, that's not what got you success this year. That's not. Honestly, like, they kind of played old-timey football. They had a smash-mouth run game, and it opened up their play-action game. And like we said, Caleb was inconsistent to play either three quarters or that last 15 to 12 minutes of a game. And I just don't want Ben Johnson to go in and overwhelm Caleb, who's already dealing with enough timing woes for there to be problems. The best thing they can do is go in and play their script, run the ball, be dominant, open up play action, and let it work. I mean, Caleb has the tools to do this. He just, like I said, it's just consistency based right now. And honestly, after the week before last, week 17, where Caleb played really well, to come into week 18 as a game that should be a ramp up for the playoffs, this is definitely concerning to me, who's been supporting their team all year.
Yeah, as far as I see this is something that I've been overly concerned about for a while. I just don't trust Caleb Williams. The one thing that's been keeping Caleb Williams in games is because his running back duo consistently is able to carry him through with 120-yard games over and over again. But this game, the running back duo did not perform, and as soon as that happens, Caleb looks uncomfortable. While I don't know if it'll be a big problem specifically against the Packers, because the Packers' rush defense, now that Micah Parsons is gone, is very, very weak. I still think that moving on, if they're able to get past that game, it is going to be a big issue. I think that Caleb Williams, given how young he is, given that this is going to be his first year in a playoff experience, I just don't know if I trust him, and this game did not do much to help nullify that worry for me. If anything, it made me a lot more worried. I think the one thing that we saw for the Bears that is a positive is that Colston Loveland had another great game, 10 catches for 91 yards and a touchdown. There's a reason why they selected him first over Tyler Warren and Harold Fannin. I don't know if I agree with the pick, but he certainly has the talent. And they're finally starting to use that now as the season has gotten to the end of it. So I think that's a good thing. And then, yeah, just to kind of hit on one of the other things you said, I hate the fact that this week Jahmyr Gibbs decides to show up after he's been absent for like 5 weeks. If there was any week that it would have been nice to have you, it would have been against the Max Brosmer-led Vikings, where Jared Goff had 5 turnovers. If maybe then Jahmyr Gibbs, you could have, showed up and helped out a little bit. That would have been nice.
Either one of them, to be honest, Sonic or not.
Yeah, I mean, one of you. Yeah, and that's true. David Montgomery, I'm not really being harsh enough on, because he's been absent too. But it's more just because we've all had to hear Jahmyr Gibbs is like a top 5, potentially top 3 running back in the NFL. And yet, it seems like for the past 5 weeks, he's been gone. So it's like, I guess, nice job, but what's even the point? And then the only other thing I wanted to say is, although I don't think that Jared Goff's performance was ideal, I think it was solid, and I think he's actually been very good all year. He's currently second in passing yards in the whole league. I think that Jared Goff deserves a lot more credit than he gets. I'm not saying like top 5 in MVP, but top 10 in MVP.
That's
I
a
think
complete tone switch from what I've heard from you, because I believe you said it's time for a certain quarterback to ride off into the sunset.
No, I agree. And real quick, I was just gonna say it is. However, his regular season performance is something that I can 100% get along with. I have no problem for the most part with Jared Goff in the regular season. My issue is that Jared Goff in big games cannot get things done. So, for example, against the Vikings, that was a big game. They needed that in order to keep them in the running for the playoff, and he completely choked. Against Washington last year, the same thing. But he does deserve credit for his regular season.
Game manager, not game changer.
Yes.
What do you think?
My thoughts about like the Lions. I think the problem is that I don't know what Dan Campbell is like thinking, but like he's not the man to be like calling like plays for this offense. Like I don't know what he was thinking like midway through the year, because I remember midway through the year they're 6-3. Jahmyr Gibbs having a great year. David Montgomery's like having him like coming back from injury. Amon-Ra's playing great. J-Mo's like getting more involved in the offense. And then they switch to Dan Campbell. He tries to do like the stupid shit like when Ben Johnson was doing, and he can't do it. Like honestly, I think Dan Campbell is probably like the two main reasons why they missed the playoffs this year. And
what head coach would you like to see him go and be a defensive coordinator behind?
I mean, I was gonna say the Niners because I think
That was
might
my
get
first pick too.
I was thinking Saul would get like another head coaching job, but I'm hearing like rumors that like Flores is gonna get like hired this offseason. So I think like personally like he would go to the Vikings under Kevin O'Connell because I don't know.
So does that mean we can agree that Ben Johnson, Coach of the Year candidate, was actually a big piece to this team and was a main reason why they weren't where they were last year?
Oh, absolutely.
Sure.
Like Ben Johnson was like came in with Dan Campbell. He's been with Jared Goff forever. He like built all these like he like built like this offense, and he's like the mastermind behind this offense. Like Dan Campbell is getting the crops right now, like, and he has to deal with it. And like Dan, like dude, I don't understand. Like
it's painful to watch it. It's painful to watch a team like this that has all the talent in the world to fight not only the injury bug on defense, but to fight losing their OC. And I said it off
and you lose your decent. Like
I said it off of week 1. I said week 1 didn't matter. They were going to bounce back, this, that, and the other. But it's showing more that week 1 was actually more concerning than it really needed to be for their team.
Well, again, when your superstars don't show up, that's the problem.
The most jarring thing about like this entire offense. This is the most times that Jared Goff has thrown deep, like in his career. Like they relied on explosive plays like way more. And a guy like Jared Goff, if you look at his pressure numbers, when he has like 4 times left in the pocket, he's gonna get exposed. Like the accuracy's not there, the timing's not there. Like he doesn't have a great arm. Like if you rely on that type of play style, now you get the results on why they're 9-8. Like,
well, it was funny because I talked about it this year, and it was like my favorite player to watch this year is the most undercarded player in the league, and it's Isaac Tesla, Mr. Spectacular Catch, Mr. I can't catch the routine balls, but if it's a spectacular catch, I'm coming down with it.
Yeah.
Well, and again, as far as that's concerned, right, the biggest thing, it's very, very true. Jared Goff gets exposed quickly. The way that the Lions offense works is that Jahmyr Gibbs and David Montgomery free up Jared Goff to be able to have the ability to make like those big passes because he doesn't have to worry about tons of pressure because they're scared of a run, so they don't really know what's going on. But when Jahmyr Gibbs just disappears, he's just gone, like at that point, then now the Lions do have to rely on Jared Goff to throw 40 times a game. And whenever that happens, they lose. The best way for the Lions to go about their offense is, and this was basically what it was last year. Jared Goff goes like 20 of 25 for like 300 yards, right? Because he gets some deep balls to Amon-Ra St. Brown. He throws 25-ish passes. And then Jahmyr Gibbs and Montgomery combined have like 30 carries. That's where you want to be at. So whenever that's not working because Jahmyr Gibbs disappears, that's a problem.
Well, that to me almost scares me how comparable the top 3 teams in the NFC North were this year then, because it was all predicated on a run game opening up a pass game and none of the quarterbacks being able to actually arm punt. So
Right.
Well, that's if you go and like look at just like historically, just really quickly as the history nerd, like that is NFC North football, right? Right, run 3 yards in the cloud of dust, and then rely on some type of deep threat, right? I'm on like you can argue
God, did Brett
JMO is the
Favre and
deep
Jay
threat.
Cutler ruin this division?
Exactly. You can say JMO's the deep threat in Detroit. You can say Christian Watson's a deep threat in Green Bay. You can say what Jettas or even Jordan Addison maybe
Jordan
because of
Addison.
route yards per route run. But all of them predicate on the same thing. And when you're basically have the same play styles, it's then how effective is your QB play? And we get to see comparatively, obviously the most effective at doing that because of the offensive line and creating those opportunities has been Caleb Williams this year, at least in terms of winning football games, not in terms of just effectiveness overall. But that is where this whole division has predicated themselves on for forever, and I don't think it'll ever really change. And the fact that we saw some really gimmicky plays in the past 2 years from Ben Johnson in Detroit is why they were putting themselves in these like conversations as one of the best teams in the NFL. And then when you take that away, now you're basically one amongst the same, and you're not a difference maker anymore.
Watching this is watching the NFC North become the
Like,
NFC West. There's 3 teams fighting for the top spot and somebody that's a bottom of the barrel team. Like it's literally these 2 divisions are going to be so competitive for the next 5 years for the top 3 spots, and one good team is going to get left out of the playoffs every year. And it's going to be interesting to watch.
Like it's unfortunate for the Lions because like they are probably in the toughest division I've ever seen. Or one of the toughest divisions I've ever seen. Because like people are like, I was like, okay, Ben Johnson is gone. It's fine because I believe they had the most talented like team in the division.
Yep.
And then the Bears took a lead. I didn't expect the Vikings to go 9-8 after their disastrous start that they started with the season. And Green Bay, like they're Super Bowl contender with Micah because they were 9-3-1 with Micah. So like,
yeah,
the fact that the Vikings went 9-8 behind JJ McCarthy and Max Brosmer led offenses is insane to me.
Kevin O'Connell, Coach of the Year. Don't sleep.
Kevin O'Connell deserves a medal for having to put up with those 2 scrubs at quarterback.
I just think like the Lions at this point, like if they don't get a coordinator, they're gonna be in purgatory like for a long time.
Yeah,
They're going to be the Pittsburgh Steelers.
No, they might never be bad, but they just might be mid.
The Pittsburgh Steelers. Got it. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's enough talking about that. Jules, we're going to move on to your boys. The Niners and Seahawks played a game this week, and played a game, more so this so-called really good San Francisco defense. I feel like they just got ran all over by the running back tandem in Seattle. I feel like Darnold really didn't have to do much this game because San Francisco just couldn't tackle anybody. It was a really weird game to watch. This was the story we've talked about all year, Retro. It's the when Christian McCaffrey plays bad, the San Francisco 49ers lose. But I'm going to give all the credit to Brock Purdy in the world just this week and this week alone, because he actually kind of looked like a certifiable quarterback, not still somebody who could actually start. But like this man had Joe Burrow time in the pocket, so he was running for his life. He was getting chased on everything. He made a couple okay throws. He made a couple pretty nice jump throws, which I thought was interesting. Didn't know he had that in his bag. Didn't know he could actually do that. But like this is very, very concerning for a San Francisco team that was very good all year defensively, and then Christian McCaffrey led. I mean, we all know what Kyle Shanahan is. He's probably top 2 coaches in the NFL, like just by tenure and standard alone. So this was just weird to me. I mean, Seattle kind of just coasted through this game. Jules, I'm really going to bring this up, and Retro really wanted me to bring this up. This is not just specific at your team. Would you consider special teams to be a skill position?
Skill position.
A skill position. You have to have a specific skill to do something on special teams. Not like the gunners or like the line, but like a kicker, a punter, a return man. You have to have a special skill to do this, correct?
Yeah.
So if you're a skilled player and you're a field goal kicker, not just Seattle's kicker, every kicker in the fucking league, you should probably sharpen your skill. This is the most missed field goals I've seen in a season in moments that matter that I've ever seen. Led this year by Young Ho Koo's best fail of fucking the last 10 years on a field goal kick.
The best
But
meme in
moving
NFL
on.
history.
Kickers have been fucking atrocious this year. I don't understand how you get paid money to suck this bad.
Yeah, I think this game was very revealing of quite a few things, actually. I disagree, Justin. I think that Brock Purdy had a couple of highlights, but he had 27 attempts for 127 yards and a pick. He was averaging about 5 yards per attempt, and he basically did nothing. Without Christian McCaffrey, Brock Purdy is very, very mid. Very, honestly, below mid. He's below average. And this is something that we continuously see as they play good teams. This was just kind of an embarrassing.
I said he looked serviceable. I never said he looked like he'd actually be a starting quarterback.
But yeah, I mean, and even serviceable is generous. But outside of that, there's a few things that worried me as far as the Seahawks are concerned. While the Seahawks rushing duo was excellent, there's no criticism I can make there. I mean, 170 plus yards between the two. There's no criticism I have there. I am worried about Jason Myers. You missing 2 field goals in a game that's that big is very worrying, because in the playoffs, if we need you to hit a game-winning kick, that's something that could come back to haunt you. Kicking is a mental thing. Kicking is very similar to golf. You don't really need the strength. All the kickers have it. You need the technique, and if something is in your mind that you're not going to hit it, you won't. So that's a problem that I think needs to be solved. And then Sam Darnold, I get he didn't have to do all that much, but he didn't look that great. He just looked kind of okay. Again, it's not really a knock on him, because he just didn't really have to do anything. If your running backs are getting you 170, you don't really have to do much. But the thing is, the Seahawks running backs have been very on-off this year, and I worry that in a playoff game where the Seahawks running backs don't show up, maybe that's something that
it's
is
just
kind
good
of a
they
problem.
showed up in Week 18 as a tuner for the playoffs.
Yeah, and then also as like an extension to that, JSN was held under 100 yards, but that's not really his fault. Again, they just didn't really pass the ball much.
Yeah.
But I think ultimately the biggest thing that I took from this is what we've been talking about all year, which is as soon as CMC does not show up, this 49ers team collapses in on itself. And I just wonder, like, everybody knows that that's how it works. So every single team in the playoffs that they play is literally going to make their whole strategy countering CMC. And if it works, I just don't know if the Niners can get very far.
Kieran, please go before I rant on.
Like the thing about the CMC thing, I think like the problem is like Kyle Shanahan like realizes that like before the season, like I lost Brandon Ayuk. Ricky Pearsall is in and out of the lineup. George Kittle missed like 5 games. I think the issue is like he's focused so much of his offense on CMC than previous years, because I think in previous years he had a balanced offense, and now when you only focus like CMC as specifically as a receiver, because the run game is putrid. Like It's actually putrid. Like he's averaging like 3.5 yards per carry. I think like personally for me it limits Brock Purdy in a way, because he's only looking at like the middle of the field, like, or like behind him, like the entire time. Like there's never like any like deep shots down the field.
Well, that's like because Kyle Shanahan's performing blood rituals in the locker room to keep CMC healthy. That's why all these players are hurt.
Yeah, I just think like I personally think Brock Purdy, given the circumstances that like people just think like he's carried by elite weapons. Honestly, like I think he's played pretty good this year, besides the Seattle game. But yeah, as for Seattle, honestly, like this was a good game for Sam Darnold in a sense that he didn't have to carry it, because I think if we get to a situation where Sam Darnold, if the run game's not there, the defense is playing like terrible, and he has to step up, because I've been saying it all year, Anthony Bradford is going to lose Seattle a playoff game. It's not going to be Sam Darnold. I swear to God.
Yeah. So, Kieran, what you're telling me is if Mac Jones went out in Brock Purdy's jersey, you would see a difference in play, or you wouldn't see a difference in play?
I wouldn't really see a difference in play, because like Mac Jones is limited too, in a sense. So
yeah,
like
I mean, Anthony Bradford is the second worst lineman that I've seen since Alex Kappa. I think Alex Kappa might actually be a little worse, but they're both terrible.
Well, like Alex Leatherwood, but no, like I hate Anthony Bradford. He's actually so bad.
Well, speaking of, let's turn it over to the leader of the I Hate Anthony Bradford fan club.
I fucking hate Anthony Bradford. I fucking and Kieran, I know you made a specific video on Anthony Bradford, and I commented on it. Is that we've shared the exact same take. Anthony, and it's actually it's happened already in week one. I told you this off screen. Is he costed us a game against this same San Fran game in week one, and that was when Nick Bosa was healthy. So if I'm going into a playoff game and a team's best pass rusher is on Anthony Bradford, I'm fucked as a Seattle fan. I'm fucked because I'm not going to be able to see so this is what I've been seeing throughout the whole year is that a lot of these defenses, not even good defenses, just like even the Tennessee game when we barely squeaked that out against Cam Ward. They're putting Jeffrey Simmons, who's a good pass rushing D tackle, and then lining up these two inside linebackers who are blitzing off of him because Anthony Bradford has the worst footwork in fucking football.
You can run a basic stunt off Anthony Bradford and get a sack 90% of the time.
Exactly. So if you
just do a swim move every time,
it's chalked. It's chalked. This is I'll be the optimist of this. I want to say I was like super high on Houston because of their defense, and the reason why a lot of people are going through Houston is that C.J. Stroud just literally just needs to not turn over the ball and be minimalistic. Sam Darnold literally needs to do the same thing because they're in the exact same situations. One's a 5 seed and has to go through, the wild card and division and all this kind of stuff. The other one's basically taking a week off. And why the Seattle team
it's funny you said that.
Make a NFC Championship game is because of this now nicknamed Dark Side defense, because everybody on that defense and the guy that I picked as defensive rookie of the year, Nick Amenmori, and Mike McDonald being able to use him at corner, at nickel, he's even put at defensive end. He is the definitive game changer for the Seattle defense, to where if you're putting him against another really talented offensive player, he will either hit the fuck out of him or just completely take him out of plays. And he just still needs improvement because he's a rookie, but he already is showing flashes of this valuability, this valuable weapon, like we were seeing with like Kyle Hamilton when Mike McDonald was the DC over there. So my thing is, if the defense will carry this team to an NFC Championship game, Sam Darnold again doesn't need to do much. And my thing is, if Sam Darnold throughout this whole year in these pressure games has shown that he has been able to do it, but I do understand the sentiment of, okay, he hasn't done it in a grander scheme of things. He hasn't done it in the playoffs. He hasn't done it but we saw it against, LA, the 2-point conversion and the touchdown at the end to JSN. My biggest concern going into any game now is not Sam Darnold. It's Anthony fucking Bradford, and it's the run game. And if teams, specifically in the NFC, who are just a little bit better than run stopping than it is in the AFC, if we're not being able to generate anything with Charbonnet or Walker, it's chalks, because the defense can only do so much. So I just don't know.
You guys are the opposite of the Chargers, where they would say if they had their tackles, they'd be a Super Bowl team. If you didn't have an Anthony Bradford, you'd be a Super Bowl team.
Probably.
Yeah. No, they'd probably be the favorites. But my also concern for Seattle is that I feel like as you said, the run game is inconsistent, and that has to do with the offensive line being inconsistent. But my thing is that when JSN gets bracketed, who is going to be that second guy to step up? Is it going to be the tight ends? Is it going to be Rashid Shaheed? Is it going to be Kupp?
No.
Yeah, no, Kieran, I was saying this when we traded for Rashid, is that because when Rashid, a lot of people don't know, Clint and Rashid had chemistry, and he was his OC on the Saints a while back. And why they wanted to get Shaheed is because the specific skill set of what he can be used as a deep threat and even obviously as a kick returner. But that would now not bracket JSN as much because now, okay, we have somebody going over the top. But even in since they've been him, there's only been like one game that you can really definitively say that JSN hasn't been bracketed. Every other game, like Rashid is just not receiving the coverages that he should be
Yeah.
to open up JSN. So it's like now you're predicating even more on the run game because he hasn't necessarily that big of a game changer as Seattle really wanted. So okay, AJ Barner, Cooper Kupp, Elijah Arroyo, all these, who's going to do it? Because at the end of the day,
Yeah.
if they're going to play LA, if they're going to play San Fran, if they're going to play Chicago, these better defenses or these better schemed defenses are going to bracket JSN and make
Yeah.
you beat them at the line of scrimmage, which they just haven't been able to do
My
consistently.
concern about Seattle is that I think they're a good offense, but like they don't really have like an identity. Like they don't know what they want to do on a consistent basis, like half the time. Like, yeah, we can rely on the run game one week, and then like, yeah, we're gonna rely on Sam Darnold, or we're gonna use Rashid Shaheed as a gadget guy. Like it. That's like the one thing that concerns me about Seattle compared to like other teams, because like at least with other teams they have like an identity, even though if it sucks or not, like they keep to the philosophy they had the entire year. So
Literally,
I think with Rashid Shaheed, I think the thing that they should be doing is I think they should be using him a lot more out of the slot and in
Yeah.
motions as like end around like distractions for misdirections for the halfbacks, because if you have to worry about Rashid Shaheed carrying the ball on the outside, which obviously everyone's like, oh my God, it's just Rashid Shaheed. But if you watch this man play and the ability he has with the ball in his hands, like if this man's running end arounds and he gets outside your tackle, he's picking up a minimum 8 to 10 yards. So if you can use him as a distraction to create misdirection to open up your middle run game and then eventually drop the ball off to him a couple times for the end around, it's going to open this offense up completely. Retro, this was probably the most perfect time for you to mention Jules' favorite tight end on his team from the team up north, because
oh
he
my
is going to
God.
be going to have to be the difference maker on this team.
I don't know. I think that there's a difference in the NFL between playing to win and playing not to lose. And 99% of the time, playing not to lose is a bad idea. But there is a 1% of the time where it is a good idea. There is a quarterback that played for the Philadelphia Eagles who has made a living off of playing not to lose. Because the thing about Jalen Hurts is he has 10 touchdowns and 3 interceptions in his NFL playoff career. 2 of those were from his first playoff game. Jalen Hurts might not win you the game, but he's not going to lose you the game. He's going to play very...
Do I need to bring up the stats again? Do I really need to bring up the stats again?
With what?
The 25th total offense, the 29th third down conversion. We're not talking about the Eagles' offense. The Eagles' offense isn't going to win you anything.
No, the point that I'm making is what Sam Darnold needs to do is what Jalen Hurts did last year, which is Sam Darnold just needs to not lose the game for them. Sam Darnold needs to play conservative. Yes, exactly. You need to play conservative. Don't make stupid throws. Allow your playmakers to playmake, and you just need to understand your role, as you are clearly not the superstar on this roster.
With Jules' concern, I think that means that Darnold's other big thing is he also needs to actually become the game changer and the game manager at the same time. Is he needs to know when to throw the ball away and not take a sack.
And I will say that, but my biggest concern as well is we're talking about Clint Kubiak, is that if you go look at like pre-buy and post-buy, it is almost completely different with the amount of route runs, yards per route run. The offense, to me, of just looking at it, is completely changed, because in the games that were like winning decisively with this dynamic playmaking, the explosiveness, and leading the league in explosive plays, it's predicated off of, like we said, the run game. But we're seeing Sam Darnold actually throw 20-yard, like 30-yard bombs consistently. And do I think he has the arm talent to do that consistently? Probably not. But there was such a completely different change post-buy to where now, it's a whole bunch of intermediate routes. It's more like leaning on the defense. And I think that is going to be the ultimate loser when it comes to Seattle, is if they end up, losing these games and not trying to be more ballsy like they were in the beginning of the year. It's like, why the hell did we just go through everything, advanced metrics like with EPA and DOVA and all this kind of stuff, just to be another first round fucking exit. It just makes no sense to me.
And like you said, I think Darnold's like honey hole is like that 7 to 15 yard rating. I think he can live in that 7 to 15 yard rating. Seattle's also another team that I would like to see adapt a little more of like the check down if he has time. Like sometimes their receivers get so blanketed, and I feel like watching some of their games, their running backs are standing literally wide open with no linebacker shadow 2 to 3 yards off the line of scrimmage. Sometimes those 2 to 3 yard plays, especially in a playoff game, add up a lot more than you really think. So if Darnold can get through his progression and realize nothing's there and hit a check down, I think the Seattle offense could actually just emerge.
Especially with a guy like K9 who's like pretty fast when he has the ball in his hands.
Yeah.
Like if you throw a flat to K9, like he could probably get like 5 yards out of it, which would like be pretty good. Like
yeah. Well, before we move on, I will agree, Kieran, but like my concern has been with K9 through his career, obviously health, and to be honest with you, I think he's been a below average receiving back out of the backfield. That's why they go and basically spend a second round pick on Zach Charbonnet, because out of UCLA, that was one of his best traits is being a dual threat. And the whole meme in Seattle is like, okay, K9's giving you, 95 yards, go punch it in Zach Charbonnet, just like the Jahmyr Gibbs and David Montgomery thing last year. Okay, Jahmyr, give me 95 yards, David Montgomery, go get the touchdown. It's almost the exact same thing. And I would say that out of the two, I much rather have Zach Charbonnet get more of the touches because he is providing more of the dual threat and the security blanket of Sam Darnold compared to what was supposed to be fucking Cooper Kupp. So I want to be very optimistic because of the defense, because again, this shit makes me almost emotional seeing this like Legion of Boom comparisons with this defense. But I just don't want it to be to where my QB isn't going to be good enough and they get fooled into re-signing him with the 3-year contract. With a lot of people know that we can opt out of year one and then re-sign him. I don't want this shit to be fooled by anyone if he ends up losing a playoff game and they re-sign him. I much rather just like fuck all, go get Drew, just play Drew Lock and go get somebody in 2027.
My take about this is that like if Darnold, like the one thing that like Seattle has, like which is like perfect for them, is that it's not a stacked NFC in the first place, and there's not a lot of dominant like offenses in the NFC right now.
Yep.
So I think like honestly, Darnold doesn't really have to do that much to like win games. So like the only team that scares me is the Rams, but the thing about the Rams is that they're getting injured at the worst time. Like their offensive line is in shambles right now. And I think like, dude, if the Rams offensive line is not healthy, it's gonna be a bad day for Matthew Stafford against Seattle.
Yes.
It's gonna be a bad.
I agree.
Well, so unfortunately there was another game played this week that we want to talk about. I'm gonna just call it the the Middle East Bowl. It's the who doesn't want to win their division more. Kieran, this really hurts because I know we're both fans, but the Ravens-Steelers game, this game was just, to me, like, it's like a car crash. It was ugly, but you just couldn't look away. Like, this was probably the most severe mid-off in a game that literally decides winner go home. The quarterback battle should have been heavily favored in the Ravens' way, and, well, Lamar's just been like a bottom 15 quarterback for the last 6 weeks of the season, so it's just been pretty unbelievably bad. But Retro, for a second there, I thought your prophecy of 9-8 was looking really, really good. And then back to what I just talked about. Kickers, do your fucking job. Oh my God. Now, mind you, as a Steelers fan, Kieran, I'm in like the small, minuscule side of Boswell understood the assignment. This guy gave them the chance to win for us to have a better draft pick. That way, maybe, okay, we're not in the spot the Ravens are. We're not firing our head. We should be firing our head coach. We should be moving on from our quarterback. We should be getting a better draft pick. Instead, we have to go play arguably the best defense in the playoffs. in week
Pretty
one.
much the best defense of the last 10 years.
Right. It's like, so, like, would I love to see us win this game? Would I love to see us break the streak of not winning a postseason game? Absolutely. Do I see it happening? God, man. I'm asking Doctor Strange to tell me how many chances it takes for us to win this game, and he told me
No.
there's actually just no universe where we do. But, yeah, like I said, this game was awful.
Yeah, I don't know. I think that Lamar. Typically, I would agree. For the last few weeks, he has been very bad. This week, he was very good. He had 250 yards and 3 touchdowns. He only had 19 total attempts.
Retro. How many of it was yards after catch on complete blown cover 2?
Well,
Please talk about it.
He was making.
Please talk about it.
He was making deep ball plays.
Patrick Queen stood and watched a receiver run past him, and then not to mention we completely lost the guy and gave him 30 yards of open space.
With Lamar making like beautiful deep ball throws to Zay Flowers.
That's like the definition of garbage time stats.
Patrick Queen is dog shit, bro.
Oh my god.
But like
So
outside of the Lamar thing, I mentioned this before. Zay Flowers did very well on limited possessions, so good for him. He only had 4 catches, but 138 yards and 2
How do you lose the number one option wide open in the middle of the field?
Derrick Henry played very well, 20 carries for 126 yards. So Derrick Henry played really well. And then Lamar had 22 touches, but Aaron Rodgers had 48. The Steelers just controlled possession. That was like their biggest thing. Like it just, the Ravens didn't have the ability to, like, if you combine Lamar and Derrick Henry's total touches, it's not as many as A-Rod had alone. That's just not it's not winnable.
The other thing that I thought was crazy for our team was how vulnerable we look without Big D Wash, the tight end, not being in the game.
That's what I was going to say. That being said, it should not have been a winnable game for the Ravens with like all the stats that I just talked about, and yet somehow it was actually extremely winnable. And if Tyler Loop doesn't absolutely brick a field goal in the middle of the field, the Ravens do win.
I just want to be clear, watching that last kick before the ball was even snapped, the way he was set up, he looked like he was aiming 20 yards right in a wind that was blowing left to right. I was so confused. Before he even kicked it, I'm like, oh my god, we're in the playoffs. I'm like, I don't even understand.
I also want to give a shout out as well to Chris Boswell, because you're not slick. You definitely missed that on purpose.
He did.
Yeah. You're Boswell. You're not slick, bro.
So as the other Steelers fan, first of all, I was happy that we beat the Ravens, because honestly, I think the Ravens have a better shot at the Super Bowl than us. But it's great that we.
It's always the benefit to beat our division rival. That's what it is.
Second of all, literally, I was literally in shambles the entire game. It's like, I'm like, man, I really want to lose, but like, this game is kind of exciting.
Yeah.
Because it literally felt like a Michael Bay movie. I'm being dead ass. Like, it literally felt like the ending of Transformers 3, and like I'm being dead ass.
Did you not mention this morning that you said this felt like watching a Michael Bay movie?
Yeah.
No, it's just like, that was quite possibly one of the greatest games I ever watched. And did I want to lose the game? Yeah. I wanted to like get a higher draft pick, because honestly, I don't see us beating Houston, like, at all. Like, there's no shot that we beat Houston. Like, man, it was nice to see Aaron Rodgers get one more moment before he retired. At least, that's all I really got to say.
Dude, the best thing I've seen though today on social media was the snap, the kick of Tyler Loop before it's even past the lineman, and it cuts to What I've Done by Linkin Park with Michael Bay's name on it.
Yeah.
It was by far just one of the best editing things I've seen on TikTok in a long time. Besides what Retro sent me today. Who's getting better than us?
Quick.
No. One of the funniest ones I saw is like it's like Tyler Loop, and then it's like the game over, like from Saw, and he closes the door.
Dude, Kieran, the one Retro sent me today was it's the looped locker room of Harbaugh going, who's getting better than us? Nobody. And it's every Ravens playoff loss, or every Ravens like game clinching loss from like 2015 on, and it's so funny.
So
Birds of a division rival flock.
Now this is my question, because like we're talking about the Ravens a lot here.
I feel like this was the wrong year for John Harbaugh to get fired. Like, I
Yeah.
don't know if it's because think about it this way. Like,
Yes, he definitely should have been fired, but I think he should have been fired like last year or 2 years ago.
At
Because
least.
right now, the coaching pool is not great. Like, who's the best coach available? Kevin Stefanski?
Yeah,
yes.
probably.
And
Unless, well,
spoiler-
I don't know. That kind of depends.
Well, first off, spoiler alert, like, I have him going to Baltimore later on. But two,
Yeah.
in talking about this Ravens team specifically, Kieran, I said this team when we were doing all of our rankings in the preseason is that this game. I'm from Philly, so I can say this. This gave me very 2012 Dream Team Eagles vibes. They had all the name power in the fucking world, and if you don't show up, there's going to be hell to fucking pay. Derrick Henry, I mean, I understand the Jair Alexander, moving on, but they had, Kyle Hamilton. They have this name power behind them, but name power doesn't necessarily lead to production, as we all know. So now, yeah, so
bad.
yeah, it was horrible. So now I would like I understand. I would say I would lean towards this was definitely the year. It's just more the circumstance of the coaching carousel. So I can give you that point. But this is literally the 2012 like dream team in my opinion, because even though Lamar was hurt, you still had basically ample enough power to do something, and you miss the fucking playoffs. Now you're not nearly as bad. You're not nearly as bad as 4-12, right? But it's completely inexcusable that this team doesn't make the playoffs, and there needs to be something to where the major overhaul everywhere. You need to go and actually get a number one, because no offense to Zay Flowers, I don't think he's that guy. They just don't have enough on you have now. Even though the Derrick Henry had yet another really good year, he's going to be 32. His production is not going to. He's only going to regress
at this point, because he was
sure. But everything is leaning towards trending down, while Lamar is still, even though it was a mediocre year for Lamar standards, is still more trending up. So you need a complete overhaul, and you don't have the time because Lamar is basically in his prime. So what the hell do you do?
Yeah, it's like a weird situation in Baltimore, because like my whole thing about the Ravens, like people are saying like, oh, we're 1-5, we shouldn't have been in there, bro. Like, okay,
you should have never been 1-5 to begin with.
The Ravens started 1-5 simply due to the fact that they probably had the hardest like schedule ever.
Sure.
After week 7, like after the bye week, Lamar comes back. They're playing like the Jets, the Browns, all these crap teams. And you know what happens? They're in prime position on like taking over the division. Lose to the freaking Bengals by 20. Like they only scored they only scored like 14 points. 14 against the Bengals defense. Like so like dude.
That was the Joe Burrow return game, right?
Yeah,
his defense. I don't know what it was, bro. His line, his defense, everything that was been a problem in that game stepped up. They're like, our king is returned. Let's play for him. It was weird.
Yeah.
Retro, I want to bring this up, though, because this man made us look really fraudulent at the beginning of our podcast. Fuck Malachi Starks for us putting him so damn high at the beginning of this year, because this was supposed to be one of the nastiest safety duos in the league this year, and they just were mediocre at best.
I'm telling you right now, next year he's going to be immediately good. Now that John Harbaugh's gone, it's just going to be like this. Like there's something to be said for the fact that if you have a coach that has overstayed their welcome, everybody in the locker room feels it.
Can't wait for Kevin Stefanski and Matt Eberflus to run this team next year.
Well, and the thing is, I think there is a good chance they get Stefanski. If they don't, I think they might go with Cliff. I could understand wanting to have an offensive-minded head coach. I can definitely get that. And although the Cardinals weren't overly successful, you can't say their offense wasn't amazing for a few seasons. So in terms of that being said, I think they might try to go that route. But I think that anything, not anything, but I think that out of the coaches in this portal, I think that you could get something very solid, something that is better than what John Harbaugh was giving you in the last few years.
Well, you just brought up a team that I still kind of want to talk about, even though they're just mediocre. Yes, they fired their head coach, but is Arizona wasting their best secondary they've had in the last 20 years?
They're quite popular. It's a really low bar. They're wasting their best defense in the last 5 years.
Literally.
They're wasting their worst defense since they beat Green Bay in the playoffs.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
I've been saying it because I was actually pretty high on Gannon when he was first hired, and I'm like, that defense is that secondary is going to be really, really good. It's just unfortunate that they have a legalized Mitchell as a fucking QB, and he can't do shit.
And then Jacoby Brissett.
I really hate that Gannon got the axe because I really thought he did a good job with the defense.
Yes.
With what he had, he did a good job. Who would you guys consider the best defensive line in the league? Just curious.
The best defensive line
in the league. What?
It could be Denver.
So I think in terms of actual talent and ability, in terms of what they can be, it's the Eagles. I think because we saw last year.
Well, even if you say it this year, if you say Denver, is it crazy to think that Denver had the best defensive line, Jacksonville had probably the best linebacker core, and Arizona had the best secondary? It's such a weird thing to say that two teams that just there was a mid-off and then two playoff teams that have the best defensive things, but Jacksonville came out of nowhere, did their thing, and got in. And I think it was heavily favored to that middle of their defense. Yes, Trevor Lawrence kind of went and balled out for a couple games, but the middle of their defense, their run stop impact, and their ability to play zone coverage was just so good for them this year.
The craziest part about the Cardinals is that despite having a good secondary, they're 24th in passing defense because their linebackers provide literally
zero help.
It's not dude. It's not even that. Their edge rushers are inconsistent as hell. So
that's true.
Do you know what their pressure rating is by chance? How low they are in pressure rating? Because they got to be bottom 5.
Yeah.
No, I
for me, I feel like Gannon shouldn't have gotten the axe because saying Gannon was the issue of this team.
It's not. It's Kyler. It's 100% Kyler.
It's not even dude. It's not even I personally don't think it's only Kyler. I think it's their offensive.
What backup quarterback do you think in the league right now that I guess showed serviceable minutes this year could have went and quote unquote changed the narrative?
Malik Willis.
I know Malik Willis is probably my top answer as well. But do you what quarterback serviceable that's on a roster that isn't a starter or guaranteed franchise tag player do you think could make a difference?
Mariota.
Shut up.
Yeah,
no, it's a fact. Marcus Mariota is a guy that you can use.
Marcus Mariota is a 5-inch taller Kyler Murray. Shut up.
Stop.
I was gonna say Kirk because I think Kirk for not the entire year can play well, but he can give you a couple games where
Kirk if he went there would give me the Kurt Warner vibes.
Yeah.
The Kurt Warner, Carson Palmer, end of career, I'm gonna try and do the thing.
Yeah, I mean, in all seriousness,
I
Carson
think Palmer got really close.
He did. He got really close.
I think that if you look because of the way in which Marcus Mariota plays, I think it fits very well. If you look at what he did within the Cliff style offense for Washington, whenever he came into the game, he was able to game manage, but he also has the kind of has an innate ability to game change. Sometimes that ends up going very badly. And
I will also finally give you the credit that your offense was Swiss cheese all year and injured.
I'll say this about Mariota. He did play well this year.
Well, and especially given the situation of you're coming in, your whole team's hurt, everybody's demoralized. It's really not a great situation. But Mariota kind of came in and he was kind of a spark plug. I think that the only thing about him is sometimes he makes very dumb decisions because he kind of still tries to play like he's at Oregon, and sometimes it doesn't really work because he has this want to just air it out or make a crazy scramble play. But when he's in his element and comfortable, he's a good quarterback. He can play very well.
Mariota, if he's in an RPO system, he'll be fine. like the thing about
Did
Mariota
somebody
is
say
that
Chip Kelly merchant?
wow. Like the thing about Mariota, he never had a good arm. It's always gonna limit him, unfortunately. Even though I like the guy, but
It's his legs. His legs give him a big X factor. He
Yeah.
still has the ability to scramble even at the age he's at.
Well,
I mean,
let's
it's not
move.
that old. He's only like 31.
Yeah, I was gonna say. I want to say he's still like early 30s.
Let's move into the Black Monday victims. Before we go
Well,
to
we
the
already
head,
talked about one.
yeah, before we go into the head coaches in depth, two teams decided that their GMs were the problem as well. Atlanta dropped Terry and Miami dropped
Good.
Chris Greer. Does anyone have any thoughts on either of those going into this?
I cannot believe it took Atlanta this long. I thought for sure as soon as they made the pick for Penix that he was going to be gone the next day. I can't believe that it took them this long.
That was dude, the pen. Like I told Atlanta fans, like first of all, I said this about so I said this to Atlanta fans like in 2023. I love Bijan, but you guys should have not taken him. Like I'm being like running backs are not like they're not that valuable. Like I get it, Bijan is arguably the best running back in the league, but like you have so many other holes like on this team. Like you shouldn't have drafted him because Algier when he's in the game is
Right.
pretty good.
Algier is definitely a serviceable.
Algier is literally
HB1.
a 1,000 yard back. Algier has the ability to play at a very high level.
Exactly. Like, dude, Jalen Carter was on the freaking board.
Yeah.
And you took Bijan. Like, what are you doing?
Yeah,
And the thing is, like, it's a good point because you look at the Falcons this year; they did not have a good year at all, right? And Bijan had over 2,300 combined yards. So Bijan can go in and literally give you a generational season, like one of the craziest dual threat seasons we've ever seen. And guess what it results in? Absolutely nothing. Because the problem is you just have too many holes.
Yeah, it's just like your quarterback sucks. Like I agree. Like after they drafted Penix, he should have been fired. Like after that, that was Jesus.
Well,
You drafted a 24-year-old rookie and you signed Kirk Cousins off of.
See, that's the thing. So
those two combined should have gone.
Yes, no, because I actually like Penix. I think he's okay. But the fact that you draft Penix after you just signed Kirk Cousins to an extension is one of the craziest dual things I've ever seen.
Mind you, Kieran, to start the season, I had Michael Penix leading the league in interceptions. So.
Not to mention, you trade your first round pick, so you don't even have a first round pick next year.
Yep.
Like Atlanta's screwed.
Well,
they're screwed.
Staying with Atlanta, firing their coach, Raheem Morris.
Raheem Morris sucked.
My thing behind Raheem Morris is I think he's the to put it simpler, he's the the maid of honor but never the bride. He's a coordinator, not a head coach.
He's also terrible. I don't know where he's going to find a job, to be honest with you.
I think he finds a coordinator job. He's not a head coach material, though.
Well, that's true.
He reminds me a lot of Vic Fangio. Like, I'm not saying he's as good as Vic Fangio, but like Vic Fangio was a terrible head coach, but he's a great DC. That's how I feel about Raheem Morris.
That's kind of the ballpark that I've kind of felt on him. We already kind of talked about the Stefanski thing. Jules, if you want to expand on that a little more on why you think Baltimore is his landing spot.
Yeah, I think Stefanski, like, I've always been a fan of him because he was there with for a short time with the Baker and the Nick Chubb days of Cleveland, and I never thought of him as somebody that would necessarily be. He's not somebody that's gonna like rock the boat, and I do think that Stefanski still fits Baltimore's identity because Retro, you said a little bit earlier, go get Cliff. I completely disagree with that because I think Baltimore is a defensively minded organization that wants to pound the rock, and you have a Derrick Henry, and you have a capable defense that can only be better. Stefanski fits that, I think, to a T, and he'll definitely put a cap on Lamar, but I think specifically because of this season, I think he kind of needs it because we all know Lamar is capable of doing that, but turning him down a notch so he's able to if he is able to make a playoff run, he'll be able and not hurt to make a deep playoff run. I think Stefanski could take this team and culturally keep the course of what Baltimore wants for the next few years until the changing in the guard eventually happens. And again, that's just going to be more on Lamar.
No, I don't disagree with you at all. I actually I only threw Cliff out there as kind of like a secondary name. I think Stefanski would work the best. He had 2 playoff appearances in Cleveland. That's basically impossible. I can't even believe that happened. So
He might actually be the most shocking firing on this day because I thought his job might actually been safe.
Actually, what I would do, as far as Cliff Kingsbury is concerned, the spot that he fits perfectly for me, unfortunately, is with my division rivals. Where he needs to be is he needs to be in a team that needs a head coach that wants to run a high-powered college-style offense behind a young quarterback. And the perfect place to do that is New York. Because New York has Jackson Dart, who plays that high-powered college offense, and he's just coming out of college this year. You've got Cam Scatterby, who's also a younger guy that he can use and kind of mold into that offense.
For 4 years until his brain melts.
Yeah, so for me, it's just like, I feel like Cliff Kingsbury fits perfectly in New York. I think that's kind of like the perfect landing spot for him.
Okay.
I think Stefanski was weird in general because, like, I feel like the Browns, like, gave him the axe because, like, they gave him, like, the situation where, like, he could pick his quarterback, like, this year, and, like, he went with Dylan Gabriel, and it, like, obviously, like, didn't, like, work out, and then it seems like the Browns, like, they picked Shador over Stefanski, which I don't really like because I think Stefanski's ceiling's higher than Shador as a quarterback. But, like, if you're going to rock with a quarterback, like, you got to get the coach out of there if they don't believe in him. And I think, like, that's what the Browns, like thought.
Yeah.
And honestly, with Stefanski, if he goes to Baltimore, like, it's the best situation possible for him because it'll be the best situation that he's ever coached. All-time great quarterback, all-time great running back, pretty good receiver, pretty good tight ends. Like, Baltimore might win the AFC. And I know I say that every year because it's Baltimore, but, like, I don't know. Yeah. I think either that or I actually think Harbaugh's going to go to the Giants. That's how I feel.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely could happen. Harbaugh's going to find a spot guaranteed.
And then we already talked about Gannon, so we don't have to touch that. The only other one on here that's just the most certifiable fire ever in history is the dinosaur Pete Carroll.
Yeah, I think this one is pretty clear. He is done. I think this is probably
he just hasn't adapted to the NFL game in the last 20 years.
Dude, it's not that. The man is 75.
Yeah, I mean, exactly, dude.
It's not, Kieran, it's not only that he's 75, it's that this whole, like, what the Raiders were trying to do this year is just completely culture change with a person who's fucking 75. And that when the culture is in 1985, when a team is wanting to be in 2025, that is never going to fucking work. It was the biggest fraudulent signing in the fucking offseason.
The problem is that what the Raiders wanted to do, because they're the Raiders and they're stupid, right? What they thought they could do is they could be like, well, let's get Ashton Genty. We'll make Ashton Genty and then
I'm going to say this again. Don't draft running backs in the top 10.
Well, and that's the thing, right? So the Raiders, being the Raiders, were like, well, listen, we'll get Marshawn Lynch 2.0. We'll match them up with Pete Carroll, and we'll be off to the races. But the problem is, A, Ashton Genty is no Marshawn Lynch, and B, Pete Carroll isn't 50 anymore. He's 75. Like,
so just to push back on that for a sec, is that even though we make fun of Ashton Genty, all of us do on our platforms, he set the rookie rushing scrimmage yards record for the Raiders set by Josh Jacobs behind that offensive line, which is the absolute most putrid thing. We were talking about shitty offensive lines earlier in Seattle. Yeah. Oakland Oakland. Fucking Vegas is like the worst in football, and he was able to do at least something. Pete Carroll with basically wanted to do what he wanted to do with the worst offensive line. He was still doing that shit in Seattle.
I'm sorry.
Like,
I'm
what is brain dead?
I'm sure hope he did with Geno Smith as their quarterback.
No, I was literally about to say, like, it's
I
credit
sure
to
hope he
Ashton
did.
Genty. It's credit to Ashton Genty that he did it, yes, but also when Geno Smith is your quarterback, like, you kind of have to be, like, getting yards constantly.
Besides Colton Miller, like, who is honestly, like, below average? Because I think all of them are legit ass. Like, it's, like, honestly crazy how bad that offensive line is. Compared to a guy like Geno Smith, who's, like, 35 years old, like, and, dude, like, it's not even that. Like, dude, they signed, like, all the Seahawks players. Like, they signed Taylor Lockett.
Well, there are tons of rumors right now that are coming out from the Raiders camp that what Tom Brady wants to do is he wants to get Brian Daboll in as their offensive coordinator and then get Flores in as their DC. They want to, like, kind of create a structure of winning, and Tom Brady thinks that's the way to go. I don't think that's a bad idea, actually. I think you get those two guys in there.
Honestly, I would hire Flores as the
It all starts by selling Max Crosby to free up some contract to pay literally 7 other guys.
Yeah, but it's like, the thing about Max Crosby is, since he's basically your franchise staple, I don't know how your fans handle that. Like,
honestly, if I'm Max Crosby, I would. Oh no, we're good. If I'm Max Crosby, I would have requested a trade because, like,
yes.
if they're gonna draft Mendoza, like, you don't want to wait that long because, like, the dude is, like, Crosby's already 29 years old.
By the time Mendoza hits his prime, Crosby will be useless to that team.
Well, and the thing is, and Justin, I agree with you here too. If you get rid of Crosby and you've got Mendoza and you have Genty, you're starting to build the makings of a very solid offense. And they're nice and, they're young, they're easily moldable. So what you need to do is you need to get rid of that contract, like you said, Justin. Get in some, like, serviceable receivers. I'm not talking about, like, amazing receivers, just something decent for you to build around. Get Fernando Mendoza comfortable with some of them. Maybe one of them will become, like, a star, and then you could low-key what you could do in this draft draft class. If you're Las Vegas, you could go get one of Indiana's receivers. They're not like there are a few of them. One of them will probably go first round, but you have one that'll probably, like, Cooper will probably drop to the second or third. And you could low-key just get Mendoza and one of his guys.
Yet Mendoza's probably going to be the most hit rookie quarterback next year.
Oh, yeah, no, absolutely. But I think that if you pair him with one of his guys and then you get...
Make him you want to try and create the LSU thing that Cincy did with Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase.
Well, and dude, if you even wanted to go all in, they have Pat Coogan, one of the best centers in the country. If you really wanted to go all in, you could really go for kind of like an Indiana-esque draft class. Make Mendoza super comfortable. That would be what my advice is.
And, like, honestly...
That would make too much sense. They're the Raiders.
Yeah,
honestly, that's how you build a culture. Like, get all the college quarterback teammates. Like,
right. Well, that's what Philly did. Philly became the Philadelphia Bulldogs. They took a bunch of Georgia guys, threw them on defense.
All work well together. Like, it's crazy.
Like, the only other thing we got really here is the fallout victims to Black Monday. Fallout victim number 1. We already talked about Jim Harbaugh. We don't really need to expand on Jim Harbaugh anymore. The last guy is defensive coordinator Matt Eberflus.
It was a long time coming. He fucking sucked.
He's terrible.
Eberflus is cooked.
Eberflus is trash.
The fact that Jerry Jones and Matt Eberflus wasted one of Dak's greatest years with what just happened is unbelievable.
It's unfortunate because it's arguably Dak's best year of his career, and like. Dude, this literally felt like the Saints with Drew Brees. Like that one 7-9.
Yeah.
And like he's just having like an MVP type year. But like since the defense is so bad. And like it's gonna be annoying because like I have to deal with Jalen Hurts fans. They're gonna be like, oh, this is why Dak like can't do anything. He can't win a Super Bowl. Like
I hate the Cowboys.
Respond every time they talk about Jalen Hurts with 25th offense. That's all. That's all you have to say.
I truly despise the Cowboys. I do, but admittedly, if they had even a decent defense, they would have been. They might have been Super Bowl.
And the worst part is, in the middle of the season, I think they had the best front 7 in football.
Well, and I was gonna say, as far as like their defense is concerned right now, they are 30th in defensive rankings. There's only 2 teams behind them. 31st is the Bengals, which everybody is aware of. 32nd is Washington.
They're not 33rd? What the fuck?
Yeah, I know, no. So the only teams they're behind are a team playing their backups and the Bengals, who might as well be backups. So it's like if Dak had, let's say that the Cowboys had the 20th or maybe even like 15th ranked defense, this team is a legitimate Super Bowl contender because their offense is absolutely disgusting.
You know what's fun. You know what's funny about that? Like, I was looking at like advanced stats because it's like, I'm pretty sure like the Cowboys defense, like in terms of like EPA, is like one of the worst defenses in the last 5 years. Like,
It probably is. That wouldn't surprise me.
And that's just
like
because their secondary is literally that.
They don't have a secondary
No.
because
Like-
the problem is the starting corners that they paid, guys like Trayvon Diggs, suck. They're not good at coverage. The only reason why they got paid is
You mean
because
the guy they
they're like
released?
pick six ball hawk merchants, which is
Well,
cool.
well,
and all,
to be
but
fair-
they can't cover.
in defense, okay, in defense of Trayvon Diggs, the year that like personally for me, his career year is when the year that he only had 2 picks. He was actually traveling and he was like playing press man. He played
Yeah.
great against Jamar Chase. Like, he's playing great against corners. So the reason why he sucked is because he just got injured. Like, the injury just completely zapped his athleticism, in my opinion. And like, he just can't cover anymore. He can't keep
I
up.
can grant that.
Well,
too,
yeah,
but I
Kieran,
think
we came up with a theory, and I kind of want to run it by you.
But Deron Bland is ass. Like, I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
Deron Bland is
Well,
true.
No,
Yeah, it's true.
we actually came up with a theory. Retro and I were talking about it, and it kind of makes sense. I think that Dallas would be fine if they went all in on finding corners and moved their corners to safety. If you let their corners free roam and play safety over the top and just play straight cover 2, I think this team would be great. Because Deron Bland, zone-wise, great. Couldn't mark a traffic cone in front of him. But like, if he got to have free will to like roam around the top and actually go hawk the ball, which is kind of what he's good at, I think this defense would be a whole lot better.
Deron Bland and Trayvon Diggs are both great ball hawks, and if you put, because the thing about Trayvon Diggs, I agree with you definitely about the injury. But the thing about Trayvon Diggs is he can get turnovers, he can still do that. So if you throw him in a safety position and with Deron Bland, and you're like, basically your job is to go get interceptions,
Go get the ball.
Yeah, we're gonna have real corners that can press man and stuff like that. I think you would see a pretty good I think it'd be a pretty good change for the Cowboys.
All right. Anybody have a preference on which side we start on?
I'm good either way, but
All right. Well, let's get it out of the way early because it's probably the shortest game to talk about. We'll start in the AFC.
Okay.
So the 4-5 seed matchup is Pittsburgh and Houston. We've already really talked about in our minds as Steelers fans, there's just no shadow of a doubt that we lose this game, and there's just no shot at this. I guess, Kieran, I'll just go straight to you. What can an X factor be for Pittsburgh to actually win this game? Besides Houston's bus blowing up on the way to the stadium.
Okay.
The X factor, I think, is DK Metcalf. You saw this offense.
As long as he doesn't punch a fan, we're good.
As long as he's just not a bot, it's all good. But no, honestly, he's gonna be matched up with Derek Stingley, and the way I see the Steelers being close is DK Metcalf wins that matchup with Derek Stingley. That's how I feel. They gotta have a couple of deep shots like they did against Baltimore a couple weeks ago, because that really opened up the offense. I really think it's DK Metcalf. I really do.
It actually showed in the game on Sunday how much his valuability is to the Pittsburgh offense.
Dude, Adam Thielen, get him off my team. It is time to retire, Unc.
Yeah, we've decided to become the Clippers of the NFL. We are just playing Unc ball at this point, and
Dude,
it's just
when Rodgers threw that to Adam Thielen and he caught it, I was like, dude, Adam Thielen is the whitest receiver in the NFL.
I hear Adam Thielen's name and it just flashed back to 2015. I'm like, what's going on?
Yeah, he's 35.
Yeah.
He's old shit.
So yeah, you other two, I'm not even going to talk to about this game because I don't need to hear it. I don't care.
We're definitely going to get
No,
in on
I don't care.
No, we're getting in on this game. So the first thing that I have to say about this game is I agree with you that the Texans are almost certainly going to win. The Texans have the number 1 defense in the league, and Kieran was saying this might be one of the best defenses in the last 5 years. Absolutely dominant. However, the Steelers do have one X factor. as much as I was trashing him this morning,
A-Rod Rodgers.
he does put up incredible wild card and divisional games, 100%. And if Aaron Rodgers gives another one of those signature performances, the Steelers could win this game. He is the X factor. If Aaron Rodgers shows up,
banking on Unk is unbelievable.
well, that's the thing. If Aaron Rodgers shows up and goes to work, Aaron Rodgers has been kind of on fire the past couple weeks. If he just shows up at work against the Texans and he says, "Listen, bro, at the end of the day, you're a poverty franchise, and I'm going to own you," then there is a possibility. But outside
if they play in Bears uniforms, we have a shot.
Well, if they play in Bears uniforms, I'd bet on you to win the game.
I think like the whole thing about the Steelers, like personally for me, I think this is the best shot that we have to actually win a playoff game. Simply due to the fact that I don't think this game is going to be high scoring at all.
No, it won't be.
Nope.
I think Stroud is going to struggle against our pass rush. That offensive line is terrible. It really comes down to what defense is better, and at the same. I'm taking the Texans defense.
I will say TJ looked pretty good for having one lung on the field on Sunday.
No, I will say this: Cam Hayward played like a man possessed. He wants a playoff.
He wants it so bad.
I almost feel like the final score of this is going to be like 21-10 Texans or something like. It's going to be very low scoring. Yeah, it'll be like a 10-point game.
I can see that. I can see the Steelers like being in the game the entire time, but never like leading.
Yeah, and then the Texans kind of pulling away at the end of the game.
Quickly,
man, we have Kenneth Gainwell, so
that's actually the two things. The X factor. I think you guys. Kieran, we talked about this at the beginning of the season. Being a Hawks fan, DK Metcalf is not going to show up. He's not going to do shit. I speaking from experience. I think you're. I think your true X factor is actually going to be your running back duo of Gainwell and Warren. They're going to be the only. I think they're going to be the only reasons why you guys are going to be within the game. Because, funny enough, Houston hasn't given up a touchdown in the red zone this whole year, but they've one of the leaders in explosive plays from the ground. And Kenneth Gainwell and Jalen Warren.
Really?
They are, surprisingly enough. Are very vulnerable in these like short pass games with Gainwell and Warren's skill set. So that would be the only thing to where I think you guys would be able to make a type of difference in this game. On the other side of that, even though again I do think that Houston's going to win, and I'll get up real close and scream like I usually do with this man. CJ fucking Stroud, you need to show up for the love of fucking God, because if this team is going to do anything, it's going to be based off of your shoulders. And if you don't show up, if you cannot get it to Nico, if you have no existing running game with that putrid offensive line, there are going to be questions in Houston, and you're going to be at the front page of fucking everything if you can't beat this Pittsburgh Steelers team. Everything lands on you specifically.
Jules? Owen Tippett, Owen Nolan, Owen Wilson, 0-7. That's all I got to say.
I'm just playing devil's advocate, man.
I just think if Stroud loses this game, this would be a really bad look.
It's such a bad
That's what I'm saying. So Kieran, I made the actual this been a running meme. We did our predictions for divisions. The only division I didn't completely do was the AFC South because I thought the Texans were going to run away with it. I had to publicly apologize to everybody because of how bad that they were looking because of CJ Stroud, and then revamp that apology once they started to win games. But this is going to put my credibility into question if he blows this shit into smithereens. I swear to God, CJ.
It's so funny because
too much time on this game.
You know what's funny about the Texans, right? I kind of nailed that on the head, but I just got the record wrong. I said they go 7-10, and I kind of dude, everything I said was correct. It's just that they won games that I think they didn't.
CJ Stroud's a 10-7 merchant.
Dude, CJ Stroud has not looked good all year. The offensive line is putrid. Nico Collins has been in and out of the lineup, and their defense has won them games, which I thought they would do. I just didn't expect them to win freaking 12.
Yeah. See, so in other words, thank you, Davis Mills.
See, I was very happy about this.
Yeah. Shout out Davis.
Shout
I
out
was very
Davis
happy
Mills.
about this because I was also a CJ Stroud. I've been a CJ Stroud believer. In my preseason predictions, I had the Texans going 12-5.
Oh,
So
wow.
I'm very happy about this one. I definitely didn't think it would look like this because this is not the prettiest 12-5 I've ever seen.
But it's the most
but,
ideal
yeah.
10-7 you've ever seen.
Oh,
Yeah.
you know, so there's a lot of people say that there are teams that have like 12 wins but are spiritually like a different record. This Texans team is spiritually 10-7, but good for them for going 12-5.
We can move on
It's
after
not
this.
Yeah,
They-
like I said, we
not-
spent too much time talking about this game for what it's going to be. So, it's time to play the accountability game with a so-called top 5 quarterback. I don't want to do it. So Jacksonville gets to play Buffalo.
Oh my god.
By the
It's a
metric.
toss-up.
So here's the thing. I don't remember all of the metrics by what it is, but it's by like top 10 in like passing or rushing offense and this, that, and the other. There's so many different metrics that counted teams out. By favor of the formula, Buffalo is still the favorite to win the Super Bowl because of things. Josh, Mr. Allen, Mr. Not Best Player on your offense, Mr. Not Best Player on your team. Dude, all your kryptonite is out of the playoffs. All of it. Nobody's there to stop you. Nobody. This is your year. If you don't, your entire character, career, everything is going to be called into question. You need to not only win this game, you need to go and get the bowl.
Yeah, there are two things that are extremely important in this game that will decide the game. So the first thing, there are really three, but the first thing is just that Jacksonville is hot. Everybody knows that's the case. They're coming in very hot. So the main two things are this. The Jaguars are 21st in pass defense. Hello, Josh Allen. It is your time to step up and make something happen because the Jaguars are first in rushing defense. That means James Cook is going to have a very difficult time out there, which means that Josh Allen, even though you have been getting carried by James Cook for like the past 6 weeks, it is time for you to come out of that shell.
It's time to lighten his load, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, it's time to become the Winter Soldier. Everybody wants to crown you as a top 4 quarterback in the NFL. They say you're the Winter Soldier. You've had great playoff performances before. This is the year for you to get it done, and you're playing Jacksonville.
Just please give me the reason to not have to talk you out of the top 4, because I really don't.
Yeah, no, exactly.
Please,
and again,
please don't make
you're not
this shit
even
on
playing.
me.
Josh Allen isn't even playing against a top 20 total passing defense. You better play well against the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Can't miss wide open 2-point conversions in the end zone.
Oh man. So here's my 2 cents on it. This is it's so weird because like I agree, Bills should win. However, they got quite possibly the worst matchup for them because Jacksonville.
Yeah, they did.
Like the Jacksonville are arguably a top 5 running game in the league, and they're playing against the 31st ranked run defense.
Yep.
It's going to be an absolute shit show. However, you brought up a good point. The Jags' pass defense is not that good, which is a good prime opportunity for Josh Allen to get out of the shell that he's in. And if you looked at Josh Allen in the wild card, he pretty much plays well in almost every game.
Right.
So like, it's kind of weird. Like, I feel like Jacksonville should win because they have the better matchup. But I just, like, my gut tells me I can't bet against Josh Allen, at least in the wild card round.
I mean, this is 100% a 50-50 toss-up game. Personally, I'm picking the Jaguars just because they're so hot. But my brain is screaming that this should be Josh Allen's game to win.
Yeah, like,
I agree.
Plus, also, I'm not like 100. Like, I'm not like a huge believer in Trevor yet. Simply
I'm not either, but
because it's been like, he's had like 5 great games.
No, honestly, more my belief lies in Mr. Etienne. I don't know. I think he's about to go crazy in this game.
The way that they're gonna if Jacksonville wants to blow them out, Etienne wants to have like a great game.
Yeah,
I agree.
Yeah, like 120 yards, like a touchdown, something like that.
Yeah, it's basically it's there for you, Josh.
The most confusing game of the year because we're gonna have Josh Allen chasing Josh Allen.
Yeah, true. That is true.
Dude! Oh my God, that brings back memories of him.
Josh Allen's about to get sacked by Josh Allen, bro.
Yep.
And he got picked by Josh.
Sorry, Jules, didn't mean to cut you off. I just Like I said, we're about to hear Josh Allen said more times in a football game than ever before.
It might be worse than Chris Collinsworth fucking glazing Mahomes. It's gonna be glazing
No,
Josh
there's
Allen.
nothing worse than Chris
No, there's nothing
Collinsworth,
worse than that,
period.
yeah.
It doesn't matter who he's
No.
talking about, just Chris
It's
Collinsworth.
the worst thing in the league.
So I've been like the one that has been, very adamant. I know Retro and Justin, you were talking about, James Cook and all this kind of stuff. I've been giving Josh Allen the most shit, I think, out of us three for
That
the
is correct.
majority of the year. And this is now where you have to buckle the fuck up and basically, if you're this Superman, carry this team on your back. Start doing it against the worst, like what Kieran said, the worst matchup possible, because then we can start feeling a lot differently about you and start talking about, oh, you are actually the best QB in the NFL, like you should be. But if there's going to be, and you had the prime opportunity to do it, we just established it's a bottom half passing defense. You have the intangibles, you have the coordinators, you have the coach to go and do everything that you need to do to basically at least keep this competitive. I think this is going to be the game to watch. But if Josh Allen, if you do not show up, if you do not do anything, I don't care anymore. I'm leaving the leash behind. Josh Allen, you're out for me. Because
somebody just needs to tell Josh Allen to watch our podcast, because I don't think he understands how big this game is. Not only do you make it to the second round, but you also get to go home with Haley Steinfeld and the Madison Beer Trophy.
Exactly. This is why I'm caring so much, because the Madison Beer Trophy is up in the air. Literally.
You get the Madison Beer Trophy.
I think we're going to see two dynamic in this game. So I think the Jacksonville is going to come into the mindset that they're going to try to keep time of possession. They're going to waste as much clock so Josh Allen doesn't get the ball. And then I personally believe every time the Bills are trying to score, it's going to be Josh Allen here wall, because that's how they worked in every playoff.
It's going to be a lot of Josh Allen carries.
It has to be. It has to be.
Mm-hmm. I don't know. This could be game of the weekend, but it also could be a gigantic shit show for one of these games.
I think it's going to be, like I explained our game on Sunday was. It's going to be a car crash. It's going to be ugly, but you can't.
I think it's either going to be it just the craziest blowout of all time, or it's going to be a really solid I think
we're going to see an absolutely insane high scoring game.
Yeah, I agree with you. I'm feeling more of a dynamic
if you set the plus minus at 65.5, I might take the over.
Yeah, I think it might. I can low key agree with you. I think it might go into the high 30s. Because these teams, the whole point of these teams is Jacksonville has been dynamic on offense this year, and Buffalo, in the playoffs, Josh Allen typically does the same thing. So yeah, I agree with you on that.
Well, let's talk about the least talked about AFC first round matchup. The 2-seed Patriots playing the Chargers. Drake May. The lights have been pretty bright for you this year with your strength of schedule, merchant claims, and this, that, and the other, and blah blah blah. Chargers fans have been delusional, saying if they had their starting tackles all year, they'd be a Super Bowl contender, and blah, 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 blah. Is there a world where they win this game?
Yes.
Yes. They absolutely could win this game.
I mean, Justin Herbert exists, but more than that, the Chargers' pass defense is top 5. Their rush defense is top 5. Their defense is absolutely nasty. I think that if Drake May, there's a few things. Drake May, this is his first playoff game, so the playoff nerves could get to him. We don't know what he looks like there yet. The second thing is there are clearly locker room problems in New England right now because
that's too.
Yeah, the allegations are flying around at Barmore and Diggs and all that stuff.
Worst time for this to happen.
Yeah, I mean,
that's my thing. Dude, it's not even if it was bums, I'd be okay, whatever. It's Stephon Diggs, your number one receiver. Christian Barmore, probably your best pass rusher. It's the worst time possible.
Well, and that's the thing. I think while the Patriots are the favorite, and they should be, there is absolutely a world where the Chargers win this game. I think the biggest problem that I'm worried about for the Chargers is Herbert. Because Herbert in the playoffs has not exactly been stellar by any means. And I just worry that he's going to kind of feel the Chargers curse, and he's just going to start choking. and I'm worried that hits again. I don't know.
This game's gonna be interesting. I don't think it'll be high scoring.
No,
I
I
think
agree.
I think both teams won't score like over like 24 points.
Yeah, it's gonna be low scoring. I think I'm low key feeling like a 17-10. Like I think it's
Yeah,
gonna be very low scoring.
Like I think it's gonna be one of those ground and pound games. Like I think it's gonna be like won by the run game more than the quarterbacks. I honestly think like both these quarterbacks are not even gonna play that well. Like
Yeah, well, I mean, the Chargers, like I said, the Chargers have a top 5 pass defense. The Patriots' pass defense is 9th, so it's going to be hard for either of these like quarterbacks to really get anything going. There, so it's going to be a run game.
I like personally for me, I hope Herbert wins because I'm tired of like the slander. So.
Well, and as far as Drake May is concerned, like he kind of needs this because otherwise, the whole thing about Drake May is people are criticizing his strength of schedule, and it would look so bad if like as soon as you get into a playoff game, you lose. Like it would just not.
Yeah,
look
yeah.
Thank God the MVP votes had to be cast on Sunday.
Yeah, which is true. It's not going to affect MVP voting, but if Drake May did win the MVP, people would call it super fraudulent if he loses to the Chargers.
Well,
when is this game? Sunday?
Yeah, I think the wild card weekend's this weekend, right? I want to say
January 11th. January 11th.
Okay, so it's Sunday.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's right. Because there are wild card games on Saturday too. I forgot.
Yeah. Speaking of, go ahead.
No,
I
was gonna say, I think this needs to be Justin Herbert's game to finally break out of the allegations, because as being the Jim Harbaugh hater of the podcast, Justin Herbert needs to break the cap of what I think Harbaugh is giving him, and this is a perfect opportunity for a team that I think is good, but I don't think it's great. I think they're defensively they're going to be a well disciplined coached team. Mike Vrabel has always been that kind of guy wherever he's been in Tennessee and here. But Herbert needs to be honest with you, he needs to have a high scoring game. He needs to put out some type of film to where I should be in these conversations. I have the arm talent. He needs to have an explosive game so that the slander isn't necessarily there. And Kieran, I'm very torn with Herbert because I see it, but I believe it's consistently because of the offensive play calling, and what Jim Harbaugh wants to do is just give the ball to Omarion Hampton and not let Justin Herbert be Justin Herbert, because he has statistically gone down in with yards per attempt and progression and all this kind of shit for years. And Harbaugh, you can directly correlate that with Harbaugh. So if he's going to break those, he needs to have a game to where he's just let loose. Like, give him off the chain and just say, go and fucking beat the shit out of this Patriots team.
Like, the thing is, like, I know it's, like, insane to compare Colin Kaepernick to Justin Herbert.
Right.
But, like, the thing about Kaepernick is that, like, when he was in his first playoff game against the Packers, he let him get loose.
Yes.
Like, he let him, like, control the entire night, like, the offense the entire night. I feel like you should do that with Herbert, because, like, we know how great Herbert is. It's really, like, how consistent he can be.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, the thing, like, I always said this, right? Like, Herbert is 0-2 in the playoffs. I know that. But you know, also started 0-4, Peyton Manning. Like,
right.
And I know, like, Justin Herbert, Peyton Manning. I get it. But, like, it's just, like, he's only played 2 playoff games. Like, you know?
Let's pump the brakes on it. I understand.
I mean, the thing is, like, and I say this a lot, too. Lamar and Peyton Manning, I think Peyton Manning was in his 7th or 8th year when he won a Super Bowl. Lamar's in his, I want to say, 7th or 8th year. And I think that it's very possible that quarterbacks that play like 5, 6, 7 years are still not going to have a championship yet, just because of the fact that it's just so hard to do. So I feel like it's hard to call a quarterback, like you said, it's hard to call a quarterback a choker that early in their career. I think it takes a while before you can really like let that set in. But if Justin Herbert doesn't win again and he doesn't play well again, there's going to be conversations, I think.
Well, moving from,
I think, like, honestly, if he plays, like the thing is, like, the stat sheet. Sorry, my fault.
You're good.
Like, the stat sheet this game won't favor Herbert because the offensive line is so bad that, like, we gotta get we have to take into context. If he's just missing throws, like when he has a clean pocket, okay, like
Right.
you know.
Yeah.
But like if he has only like a second to throw, like
There's context,
you know,
for sure.
yeah.
Well, moving from one MVP candidate's game to the other, Rams play the Panthers.
Yeah, we good here? Rams, cool. Good.
Yeah,
Panthers.
like
Yeah.
I don't even I don't even want to touch this game at all. There's just
Panthers.
All
hold on.
I'll
Jules,
all I'll
what?
say is I think the Rams will win. I think the Panthers will cover though. That's how I feel.
I think the Rams are about to kick the ever-living garbage.
I
out
think
of the
Jules
Panthers.
just doesn't want to see the Rams in the next round of the playoffs.
I would
I-
love to see the Rams. I would love to see
No,
that.
no,
you know,
I'm just
No, you wouldn't.
honestly, I want the Panthers to win because I'm here for the Matthew Stafford
I
slander.
agree with you about the Panthers. I want the Panthers to win too.
I've been
but
saying that he's been fraudulent this whole year. He's, stat padding and a lot because again, Kieran, you like to put the context behind a lot of these games. He's not having his greatest performances as we really fucking think. If he doesn't have a really good performance against this Panthers team, that puts his whole season into fucking context. I don't care about his stats.
He thinks the Rams are going.
You know what's
I think
funny?
the Rams are going to win the Super
You
Bowl.
know what's funny? You know what's funny? I was in a Discord and I was arguing who's the best player on the Rams, and I said this vividly. If Matthew Stafford was truly the best player on the Rams, like the Rams offense, why was he so mediocre without Puka in 2024 when he missed half the year? I'm telling you.
You mean?
Yeah, no,
Hold on.
know.
You mean Stafford, the receiver creator, right? Retro.
Yes, Matthew Stafford. I do believe
The
is a
receiver creator. Yeah,
Yes.
Kieran, there's a running thing that Retro wants to back here that Matthew Stafford is responsible for Calvin Johnson, Cooper Kupp,
Not
and
responsible
Puka
for
Nacua.
Calvin Johnson.
No,
Everybody else.
that was mentioned. You're not ducking it.
I said he elevated Calvin Johnson. I didn't say he was responsible.
Honestly, the whole the thing about Puka is that one, I think people just underrated him in that draft in general. Second of all, he probably went in the best situation. He went with he got Stafford and Sean McVay. It's like it's a little bit of both. Stafford, I think he gets the best out of receivers. I don't think he's receiver creator though.
Well, I'll put it this way, right? So for Puka, for example, I do watch a lot of college football. Puka at BYU was never like an amazing creator. He was never like a crazy receiver. He was okay, and he had good skill, but no one expected him to be anywhere near where he's at now. As far as like Cooper Kupp, he's a third round guy from Eastern Washington. That the Rams just decided to take a chance on, and he becomes a Triple Crown winner, leaves LA, now he's with Seattle, and he's a second option barely. You look at Galladay, for example. I don't know if you guys remember Kenny Galladay.
I know, yeah, Kenny Galladay.
Matthew Stafford made his career. Golden Tate had his best career years on the Lions. It just seems to be that every receiver that Matthew Stafford has, he just elevates.
Well, I said this before, most quarterbacks, in general, right? They'll get the best out of their receivers. For example, Matt Ryan, I think, if Julio didn't have Matt Ryan, I don't think Julio would have the production as he did with any other quarterback.
These top 10.
Especially another guy who am I thinking of? Keenan Allen. I don't think he would have his best years without Philip Rivers. There's so many Philip Rivers and Matt Ryan are the prime examples of this. There's so many mediocre receivers that I can think of right now that Tyrell Williams, Taylor Gabriel, Austin Hooper. Because my whole thing with Stafford, right, is that he gets all this credit for having the best season for these receivers, but other quarterbacks don't get credit. It makes no sense to me.
No, I agree with you on that. I definitely think there needs to be consistency. There are 100% examples. Like you just said, I mean, Philip Rivers was elevating guys no one's ever even heard of before. And a lot of guys, I mean, Tom Brady, he Chris Hogan, for example.
Yeah.
D1
athlete, lax player Chris Hogan.
Yeah, literally, he was a lacrosse player that Tom Brady. I mean, Julian Edelman was a quarterback in high school, and they takes Julian Edelman and Julian Edelman.
You think about it, you can go down the list of names, like you said, Chris Hogan, Julian Edelman, Deion Branch. You can talk about it, and then when Brady got Moss, you could really see the elevation of
right.
what Brady could what Brady opened up for Randy Moss and vice versa. So it's like you can talk about that till the cows come home. Like it's just what he was able to do.
Well, and I'll even grant this now. I think now that Stafford has helped elevate Puka, I think Puka is a better player than Stafford. I don't think that's a
absolutely.
question.
Like,
yeah,
I think if you want to say 23 Stafford was better than Puka, I'm okay with that.
yeah.
But right now, it's clearly Puka.
It's Puka.
Well,
Like,
because right now the two top receivers in the league are clearly JSN and Puka, and they're so dominant that like
This year.
it's just not
This
really
year.
a comparison.
the thing, I've always said this about Stafford, right? Like, people glaze Stafford because of his arm, and I get it, but like, the amount of like conversation I have to hear about Stafford, like, oh, like he's so insanely good that like no one can do what he's doing right now is insane to me. Stafford this year literally like is not as accurate as Drake May. His arm is not even as strong as Drake May right now, and I would argue that all of the praise that Stafford gets made with the crazy throws, Drake May does the exact same thing, but at a higher rate. And he's the better athlete.
Yeah.
And he is the worst situation. Like,
Yeah.
the thing is, like, people are gonna bring up like the schedule, right? I think it's way harder to like have like if you have a worse schedule and you don't have the greatest situation around you. I think it's way harder than like facing tougher opponents with the best situation possible.
Well,
like
Kieran,
we talked
Kieran,
about
the best way to bring this up is former NFL player, NFL analyst, color commentator, whatever you want to call him, should be Hall of Famer Greg Olson, said it best. This isn't SEC playing the Sun Belt. These are professional teams. And you can also say that strength of schedule played a part of it, but at the same time, they're putting up comparable numbers against the same comparable opponent when they're playing them, so it doesn't really matter. But like the argument right now is the strength of schedule versus the 13 one-yard touchdown passes. So it's like whatever you want to elevate, go right ahead. But
I was going to say, the way in which I see it is this is like one of the clearest 50-50 races that we've seen in a long time.
So just give it to the third place guy. Yeah, I got it.
Well, no. I think that Christian McCaffrey 100% has a place in this argument because he is the 49ers offense. I understand that he's not a quarterback, so nobody wants to put him in the conversation.
Speaking
but
of,
he absolutely
we're moving right into that game, the fraud off. The Niners playing the Eagles.
And to be clear, on this same note, this is a perfect example of why Christian McCaffrey is the MVP. Because Christian McCaffrey has one bad game, and this 49ers team, they collapse. So my thing is, against the Eagles, the key for the 49ers to beating the Eagles is Christian McCaffrey having a good game. If he doesn't have a good game, they will lose. That is a guarantee.
It doesn't even have anything to do with the playoffs. It's just fact on what we've seen this year.
Yeah, no, exactly. Yeah, it's just something that we've seen. It's demonstrably true.
The sad reality of Christian McCaffrey, he's a running back. Even though like he's more of a receiver than running back.
He's a great gadget.
Yeah. Oh, he's definitely a gadget.
Yeah, Deebo Samuel at his best. So,
Shout out Deebo,
no. We don't give that man credit for anything.
No, thank you. I apprate that. You're right. Deebo Samuel, that 1 year he had like 16 yards.
Anyway,
So
going like sorry, one more thing. Like going back to Stafford, like I said, like on my TikTok, he'd probably be the worst MVP since 2009 because I truly believe that like out of like last like 16 MVPs that we have, I think like individually they're better players like on the football field. I think Stafford has the better production because he's in a better situation, which hides his limitations as a player now.
What it is, it's a charity MVP. Jules.
My thing.
Eagles, Niners.
Yeah.
Well, hold on, because I wanted to comment on this real quick because I think it's important. Okay, because you brought it up. I just wanted to say on this, I would agree, except I think last year's Josh Allen MVP might be the worst MVP of all time, and so because of that, but outside of like the Mark Moses,
right? Because without Josh Allen last year, the Bills would be where? Anyway, Jules, Niners.
Lamar had 5,000 total yards with the most efficient season.
The way I look at it, like Josh Allen or Lamar, like to me, like. Their MVP level years, just that like one deserved it more than the other. That's just how I feel.
Yeah.
It's the reality. Like,
it's a reality. No, I agree. One or the other, I didn't give a fuck. But with this specific matchup between San Fran and the Eagles, to be honest with you, I don't know how we don't pick the Eagles. I know, Kieran, that might be pulling your fucking teeth because I know that the Eagles fans are gonna be loud and fucking obnoxious. QB wins are a QB stat, like you've been saying this whole year.
Shout out
Uh,
Gilly.
Shout out Gilly. What I will say is because of the defense specifically, is very, very good. They're Super Bowl caliber defense. I think that they're just going to shut down this whole San Fran offense. I really do. Like,
I'm just going to be sitting there screaming, "Go Dogs,
well,
sick 'em," the whole game.
well, right, because I do think that Vic is going to be able to scheme specifically because of how bad this O line has looked the past several weeks, especially against not even our team, against Chicago. There's no way that Philly doesn't just hound Brock Purdy this whole entire time. Now the real question mark is going to be now Jalen Hurts is going to be put in this situation where he's going to have to put up points because San Fran is, to be honest with you, throughout the past 6 weeks has been dog shit defensively. So if you can't put up points against a very bad San Fran injured defense, I don't want to hear the Jalen Hurts shit anymore. And Kieran, I'm laughing and pointing at you because you're again the head of the Jalen Hurts hate FC. So if Jalen Hurts doesn't have this performance, and he said, let's say the very stereotypical, 110 yards, no touchdowns, Saquon Barkley with like 75 yards on the ground, AJ, like a very just stereotypical Eagles game, and they do win, let's just say like 17-10. Where, like, are you going to still stand 10 toes down and be like, what the fuck with the Jalen Hurts type of conversation?
Like, listen. The thing is, I want Eagles fans to like be consistent, right?
That's impossible.
Which is never. They don't think logically. All I'm saying is that they complain when we can. Like they get mad that we bring up context with other quarterbacks besides Jalen Hurts.
Right.
Like context only matters to them when it's Jalen Hurts, and like this is a perfect example. The Bills game. Josh Allen did not play good. We know that, right?
Right.
But do you honestly think if a guy like Dak Prescott had 0 yards in the second half, they would give him grace, despite the situation around him? No, exactly. Like, dude, like I've said this before. All the quarterbacks we have named have had bad coordinators, and they haven't played this bad compared to Jalen Hurts.
Right.
Yeah. No, I think the key to this game, pretty clearly, is that the Eagles have the 22nd ranked rushing defense. They haven't had near the capabilities to stop the rush that they did last year. And if CMC is going to have a breakout rush game, I think it's going to be this one. So The biggest thing for the Eagles is kind of just going to their D-line and saying, hey guys, you remember when last year you were so dominant that you like walked your way to a Super Bowl like game? We need that again. Like that. We need that Jalen Carter. We need that monster.
I think the X factor for me would have to be the receivers besides CMC, because if they're going to take away CMC, it's really going to be like, hey, DeJuan Jennings, hey, George Kittle, hey, Ricky Pearsall, let's see what you can do.
Right.
Like, you know?
Yeah.
Because, like, if they they're going to be targeting the middle of the field a lot this game, I guarantee. And we'll see if Brock Purdy like has the arm to like take deep shots.
It's great because either way we get to push good narratives. We either get to push anti-Jalen Hurts or anti-Brock Purdy narratives.
I'd rather be anti-Jalen Hurts.
Yeah, that's fair.
Either way, we're still pushing narratives on both. But we basically already covered the last game when talking about the Bears at Week 18, so we really don't have to do that. So we're just gonna run back the schedule real quick. We'll just go quickly who you guys have winning on Pick'em here. So we'll just start with the game. Bears-Packers. I'm taking the Bears. There's no way I'm not.
I'm gonna pick the Packers.
I'm gonna pick the Packers.
Yeah. I'm going with the Bears.
Thank you.
Dude, I just don't believe in Caleb yet.
I don't either.
I don't believe in Green Bay's defense right now.
I don't believe in Caleb.
It's Toyonathon Jordan Love. Come on, man.
I don't know. I believe.
No.
It's
Toyonathon Malik Willis. Anyway, next. Back to it. Eagles-Niners.
Philly.
Philly.
I have no idea. I'll go Philly by like 1, I guess.
San Francisco.
I want to pick San Francisco.
Rams, Panthers.
Rams by 9. They cover.
10.5 is the spread right now.
I'm gonna go
Yeah,
Rams.
exactly. That's why I said by 9.
But
Yeah.
I'll say Rams by either 17 or 21, depending on if
Okay.
they take their
Wow.
starters out.
I think Panthers.
Well,
That's so nasty.
all right,
People
so,
don't believe that.
yeah, so Houston wins anyway. Jacksonville, Buffalo.
Houston does win.
Ooh, dude.
I'm taking Jacksonville.
Give
me Trevor Lawrence.
Give me Sunshine to defend the Madison.
Yeah, give me Sunshine, bro.
Give me the guy with the rocket launcher for an arm.
That's fair.
Fair enough.
And then-
I will take I want you to prove me wrong. I
want him to too, but I'm just making the same.
I'll take the Bills and have the Madison Beer Trophy moved to Buffalo.
Please, Josh. I just want to be. Please, Josh, prove me wrong. Please, God. Drake May at Justin Herbert at Drake May.
Drake May or Madison Beer's boyfriend.
I'll take a Drake.
No, he lost that title. He doesn't have it anymore. He has it physically, but he doesn't have it mentally.
Oh no. Drake May or the announcer's best friend.
There you go.
That's so funny.
It has to be Drake May, bro.
It
There's
does.
No way.
It has to be. All right.
Kyle Williams breakout.
I'm now intrigued for the first time in a long time.
I'm actually a huge Kyle Williams glazer.
Right.
I thought he was.
Kieran, this is where fun happens, and Retro and Jules want to hate each other more than anything. You got 3 pick, 3 cut 5s here, and it has to be a general consensus from the 3 of you for it to pass.
Oh.
God.
Okay.
Damn.
So,
okay.
This will never happen.
So for me to play devil's advocate on what happened this morning, NFL Hall of Fame nominees.
Oh
Ooh,
my
okay.
God.
First name up is Frank Gore.
Yeah.
Cut.
Frank Gore. Oh man.
Cut.
Cut.
Why are we thinking about this? It's a cut.
It's okay. It's a close cut, but I'm fine.
Oh, it's not.
Got it.
It is a close cut for me. I'm fine with it.
Terrell Suggs.
Ooh. Probably. This is another close.
Cut.
I would
It's
say
another
cut.
close. Yeah.
Okay. Luke Kuechly.
Keep.
Keep.
Easy keep.
Got it.
Kuechly would have been the greatest linebacker of
All
all
right,
time.
so I'm going to switch back to actually seeing you guys now when I say this name because this is just about to be so much fun.
Oh.
Eli Manning.
No.
No.
God, no. Drew Brees and Fitz are on the board. He's getting fucking cut.
I know. It's a cut.
Got it.
But he's not first ballot.
Flip
He's
it.
not first
Flip
ballot.
it. Flip it. We got Retro to concede this bullshit.
He's not 5th.
Flip
He's
it.
not 6th.
Hey, no.
He's not
To
7th.
be
Not
clear,
8th.
he's a Hall of Famer to me. He's not first ballot.
Jason Witten.
It's got to be a cut just because the other guy's on the board. Like you said, you got Drew Brees, you got Fitz, Vinatieri.
Yeah.
I would put over him.
How many keeps do we have? 3.
You have 2 keeps left with 3 names to hear.
Okay.
Yeah,
Torrey
it's gotta
Holt.
be a cut.
Oh,
Torrey Holt. I think this also low key has to be a cut because the other guy's still on the board.
no, but this is the problem. We might not get Fitz or
See,
Brees.
but
Yeah.
Kieran, the way that
Wow,
Justin
he
does
hasn't
this
played before, but he understands.
Kieran, the way that he does this game is he backloads all of the good names until the end,
Yeah,
so you end
Kieran,
up
he's the
screwing
biggest
yourself.
prick when it comes to this game ever. It's not even funny. It's not even funny. So
I don't know. Oh man, Torrey Holt is a really good.
I know he is. He's outstanding. I don't disagree with you. It's just like
Mind you,
God,
Kieran, if you look at the camera, I sit here with the same shit grin on the whole time.
yeah, shit-eating
I don't know,
grin
what-
that I would just want to fucking
Alright,
rip a
alright.
hole through.
Where are
Pisses me
we?
off.
It's a
I'll go for
close
the
cut
bait.
for me.
I'll go for the bait.
Yeah,
So we're cutting Torrey Holt.
yeah, we kind of have
Got
to.
it. The last 2 are kept. So
Okay.
you cut Frank Gore, you cut Terrell Suggs, you cut Eli Manning, you cut Jason Witten, you cut Torrey Holt to keep Luke Kuechly,
Okay.
Larry Fitz,
Okay.
and Adam Vinatieri.
I knew it.
Yes.
Vinatieri. Yeah.
I'll take it. Second greatest kicker of all time.
All right. Franchise receiver.
Bro, kickers aren't people, okay?
No. That's crazy.
Franchise receiver trios.
Oh.
Oh, this is.
Wait, is this past and present?
Franchise. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, yes.
Okay, heard.
Up
Okay.
first are the boys from Philly, AJ, Deshaun, and Smitty.
Cut.
That's a cut, I think.
That's a
Yeah.
cut. We're gonna get way better names, I think.
Yeah.
Well,
Dem boys, all the 88s.
oh, keep.
Oh, yeah. I feel like that Loki has to be a keep.
I mean, Irving. I mean, CeeDee Lamb's gonna be one of the best receivers for a while.
Yes.
And like, even though Dez,
Okay.
I mean, the thing is, Dez is like an all-time great prime.
I don't.
Yeah.
I don't.
Irvin,
I don't know if I'm sold because I think there's a lot of other franchises. To be
yeah,
honest.
that's true.
but like, okay, but Michael Irvin is a top 10 like borderline. Dez Bryant had like one of the craziest primes ever, and CeeDee Lamb is going to be one of the best receivers, probably like.
I need an answer.
Ever.
I
would say keep.
you can say cut if you want.
I don't know.
I want to cut.
It might be a bad cut.
Dude, because what bet? It's hard to get better trios.
We're cutting the 88s.
I want to cut the 88s.
Cutting the 88s.
I'll go ahead and
we'll see.
The Rams, Bruce, Holt, and Cup.
Keep.
Yeah.
Now I still.
Bro, it's crazy. I was like, I'm hoping for the Rams.
I do think the Cowboys low key may be better, but I'm okay with that.
Well, you got Holt and Bruce. Holt and Bruce by themselves is one of the best duos
So
ever.
I'm gonna tell you this right now. This next one I don't feel like belongs, but because of the 3 primes, I feel like it's relevant.
Oh, okay.
Green Bay, Greg Jennings, Jordy Nelson, Devontae Adams.
It's a cut, but I get what you're going for. And honestly, if you replaced Greg Jennings with Sterling Sharp, that might have baited me a little more.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say this is a cut.
Yeah.
A cut.
Houston, D-Hop, Andre Johnson, Nico Collins.
It's actually better than you'd think.
Honestly,
Keep.
I don't know. I would cut it.
Andre,
I don't think it's good. Yeah, I don't think it's good enough. Again, you want to talk about other franchises that have all-time great receivers. What if we get like the Steelers, or you get like the Niners or something?
I honestly think the Texans are better
I'm not
than the Steelers.
keeping no plumbers on my team. I don't care.
Okay, realistically, you look at the Steelers, and we've got Antonio Brown.
I might get crap, but I would take like Andre Johnson and Diop alone with Antonio Brown. I'm sorry.
Because Antonio Brown, Lynn Swan, you could do
Plummer.
like Antonio.
I'm pushing for an answer.
Oh no! Also, Hines Ward,
Plummer.
Ward, and Antonio Brown together are
Just
way
stop
better.
it. Just because your receiver is relevant now and you haven't had one before doesn't mean you get to.
This to me is a clear. I don't think I can bend on this.
I would keep Houston. We got in my opinion, 2 top 15 receivers ever, and you got Nico Collins is a top 10 receiver right now.
See, I don't think it's enough.
I need an answer.
I don't think it's enough, guys. This is a Houston Texans receiving core. The
Texans. What does that have to do with it?
Because there are so many franchises with better receiving trios with a way bigger history. Like the Texans, yes, Andre Johnson is fantastic. D-Hop had a good prime for sure, but I wouldn't put him super high up. And Nico Collins is like a borderline top 10 guy today.
I need an answer.
There's too much history with other franchises. It's not enough for me, I don't think. I think they're too young.
That's fine. That's cool. We're gonna take the majority here. So what are we saying? I need everyone's answer right now.
Keep.
Got it. This just got so much more fun. You have 1 keep left.
Oh no.
Them boys from Minnesota: Chris Carter, Randy Moss, and Justin Jefferson.
We gotta keep it.
We're cooked now. It's a keep, so now we're cooked, bro.
I'd much rather take this over fucking Pittsburgh or
this
was fine. But now we don't have any more keeps, so who are we cutting?
So you kept the Rams, you kept Houston, you kept Minnesota. You cut the boys from Philly, Dallas, Green Bay. You cut Cincinnati with Ocho, AJ, and Jamar Chase.
I'm not mad at that.
That's fine.
And you cut Atlanta with Roddy, Julio, and Drake London.
Okay, I'm okay. I'm okay with that. Yeah,
it could have been worse. It could have been worse.
Yeah,
I think
this guy was freaking out. Oh, he's gonna get a San Francisco. Fuck off.
Well, no, Jules, you know how Justin does this game.
I
It's
feel
true.
like
Fuck San
I
Fran.
feel like Cincinnati is a severely hard deep cut fringe.
I don't know. Actually, if
I'm
anything,
taking
I
Minnesota
would
10 times out of 10 over them.
the Falcons might put the Falcons slightly over that Texans trio. It's very close.
I think that both the guys you cut on the bottom are over the Houston trio. That's just me. The last one. So it's all-time defenses, but
Ooh.
all 8 of them, I'm going to make this clear, all 8 of them are within the last 20 years.
Oh.
Ooh, okay.
Okay.
2015 Carolina.
Oh my
Cut.
goodness.
Cut.
I would cut. They were
There's
nasty.
way better defense, isn't it?
Yeah, I agree, but they were nasty.
The 20,
No, like they were great, but
the 2024 Eagles.
Keep. That defense. There are very few defenses that I would say are dominant enough.
No.
That Eagles defense single-handedly took the
But-
Mahomes Chiefs dynasty and stuffed it in a trash
The
can.
cool
That
thing, I will
defense-
take 3 more defenses within the past 20 years over them. So I'm cutting them.
Okay, from 2006.
You gotta think
now,
about it. You gotta think about it, man. Like
From 2006 to now, I'm taking Legion of Boom, No Fly Zone, that Eagles defense.
I'm taking Saxonville.
I'm taking Jacksonville.
I'd rather have the Eagles defense than Saxonville. Saxonville couldn't do to the Patriots what the Eagles did to the Chiefs.
I mean, they did well against the Patriots.
I think they played well. I think the Eagles defense stuffed the Chiefs in a dumpster.
I just want you guys to know that your little argument today just fueled this whole fucking pick 3 cut 5s. It was pretty great.
I think the Eagles. I think this team should stay.
I don't know because I have to think.
I need an answer.
Like I said, there's only 2 defenses I put over this one.
I disagree.
I don't know, Jules. I don't know where you guys are at.
I'm actually thinking of 4 right now. As we mentioned, more defenses that I would probably take.
So we're cutting.
I
the
would
Eagles.
I want to cut it.
Yeah.
Cutting the Eagles.
Yeah.
2009 New York Jets.
Well, yeah, that's
Okay.
the other one I was thinking of.
I would cut those guys over
The Revis
Eagles.
Island team.
Yeah,
It's
well,
not.
that's
It's
the
not.
whole thing.
It's not Revis. Dude, Rex Ryan led defense.
Gross.
I don't know.
I agree.
I would cut though because I think we're gonna have better defenses.
I
So.
would also
Yeah,
cut.
I would cut.
2023 Ravens.
I would cut.
Yeah, so here's the thing about the Ravens. I actually think the Ravens defense is better than the Eagles defense last year.
I disagree. I think they were very dominant, but again, I've never seen a team take over a playoff run and literally just dominate everybody. Even if you look at in their deciding games, you have the Rams game where the Eagles almost lose, but Jalen Carter on his own just it absolutely abolished it. It just destroys the Rams team. And then you've got in the Super Bowl where they absolutely trash the Chiefs. I just don't think there is but outside of the 2 that I mentioned, I don't know.
To me, even then, with the Rams, they still almost won. It's not what killed them was the turnovers. It wasn't really the Rams. They could still push the ball down the field.
All right. Pushing for the answer.
I would say cut, but I might be outvoted.
Jules,
I would keep this.
it's hard because how many keeps do we have?
3.
You only have 3. Legion of Boom still exists. No Fly Zone.
Yeah, I got a cut. Unfortunately,
Got it. 2015 Broncos.
Yep. There they are.
Easily.
2017 Jags.
Yeah, they're Saxonville. So it's how many keeps and cuts do we have left?
You have 2 keeps with this plus 2 teams to here. So you have 2 keeps for 3 teams.
Okay, so at this point, Saxonville and the Legion of Boom are probably the 2 best defenses left in this time period, and we have 2 keeps left. So if we take Saxonville here, then we can just try to hold on for the Legion of Boom.
Oh yeah, you're right. I guess we can keep them.
Keep, all right. 2020 Rams.
That's not the Legion of Boom.
This is the easiest cut.
Yeah.
It's Aaron Donald, Jalen Ramsey, and friends. That's
Yep. Yeah, exactly.
Literally.
Yeah.
Well, you get to keep the 2013 Seahawks.
Nice. Okay, I'll take that. That's fine.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that's fine with me.
So we capped Saxonville.
Saxonville, No Fly Zone, Legion of Boom.
Cool.
Yep.
2020
That works.
Rams, Jalen Ramsey and friends, Aaron Donald. Shout out Von Miller.
Maybe a little bit of Leonard Floyd, like
That's true. Leonard Floyd. I forgot about Leonard Floyd. Yeah, he was
sprinkled
cooking.
in there. I don't know that list is so tough because I agree. Like, dude, Retro, I agree with you. The Eagles' defense is really good. It's just
Yeah.
I don't know. I think the Ravens' defense was slightly more complete. I think, personally for me, one game doesn't really decide for me that
That's fair.
you're a better defense. It's really more the entire year. I don't know, but
I guess I'm just so moved by playoff runs, and so with that Eagles defense, and especially given the way in which they did the Mahomes dynasty.
I will give them this. That's probably one of the best defensive performances ever because they didn't blitz once, at all, and they completely shut out Mahomes. The thing about the Ravens, they the Ravens defense, they shut out Mahomes in the second half. Their offense just couldn't do anything.
Yeah. If they were going to win a Super Bowl, it was going to be that year.
Yeah. But
Okay. And then to wrap us up here, our sports history fact of the day. Time of recording, January 6th, 1995. Atlanta Hawks coach Lenny Wilkens passes the legendary Red Auerbach to become the NBA's all-time winningest coach with 939 career victories.
Wow.
it's pretty cool.
And
Retro, this one below is just specifically for you.
Oh, hi.
Croatia wins first tennis title.
No one
Yeah,
fucking
1996.
cares. Jesus fuck.
Yeah, nobody cares, but it's just for Retro.
That's a big shout out to Croatia, even though Croatia hasn't had this tennis history.
Yeah, Retro wants to talk about the niche sports like tennis and other shit that doesn't matter. So,
I could talk college lacrosse too.
Yeah, no one cares.
Yeah, no one cares. But with that, guys, that was We Don't Know Ball. Again, thank you, Kieran, for coming on. Go support him.
I had a fun time.
Yeah, go support him on his TikTok channel, Sleeper Kieran. Go support his platform, Hammer Dog Mondays, if you guys know him from the other platforms. Again, I really appreciate you coming on. This has been We Don't Know Ball. Retro, Justin.
You send us out. I just want to say, Kieran, not bad for three guys that don't know ball, eh?
Yeah. Guys still don't know the concept of the ball, but it was fun.
And also, just as Joel said, thank you very much for coming on. We do appreciate it.
Oh yeah, it was fun.
Yeah, please like.
Can't wait to see the Fallout video.
Honestly, it's way more chill than other platforms I go on. So
yeah, no, literally, and that's what we want to try to do here, more casual talk of not learning the concept of ball, but we have to push our shit anyways. But please like, share, subscribe, sub to the YouTube channel. Follow us on TikTok, follow us on our platform so you guys can share our personal takes with our kind of stuff, and we see you guys next week.
Let us know if you want us to.
Heineke is better than
Let
Brock
us know
Purdy.
if you want us to replace Retro with Kieran full time.
Taylor Heineke is better than Brock Purdy.
I'll currently sending out applications as we speak. So
We'll see you guys next week.
see you.